Support for The Gaming Outsider is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code THEGOCAST at manscaped.com. What's happening, Gaming Outsiders? On episode 385, we're taking a close look at all the announcements from Nintendo's February Direct. In other news, controversy is brewing with Sony censoring Martha is Dead on PlayStation, and new games discussed include CrossfireX, an FPS from Remedy, a very Japanese game called Maglam Lord, a modern JRPG called Rise of the Third Power, a Cold War-era RTS called Warno. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 385 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It's Monday, it's Tuesday, February 15th. Threw me off a little bit there. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my friends. First off, a guy with an accurate calendar, Mr. Zack Parkerson. What's up?
I do know how to tell time.
You do. We switched it this week. We normally record on Mondays, and it threw me off. We're recording on a Tuesday this week, so thanks for the dirty look.
A little inside baseball for all the listeners. I know you're really excited to hear what day of the week we record.
Yeah. Also joining us once again, Miss Alyssa White. Alyssa, how are you?
I am okay.
It is good to see both of you. I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into it. What have we been catching up on? We're going to start with Alyssa because she's been gone a couple weeks now. So what have you been playing?
It's been a couple weeks. I've just, besides the review game that we'll talk about later, I did try out Dying Light 2, which I will say, if you suffer from motion sickness, do not play this game.
Oh, no.
It is really bad. It made me feel really bad. I've played about 2 hours of it, and I enjoy it besides the fact that it makes me feel bad.
So even though it makes you feel sick to your stomach, you're still playing the game.
I can only play it in very small, like maybe 30-minute tops periods. Yeah. So it's
is it the parkour, like the that kind of
it's
movement?
Just I think so, and plus just being in first person, and it's not a very accessible game either, because going into the menu, I was trying to find maybe to change motion blur or the field of vision or anything like that. Nothing. There's no motion sickness mode or anything like that. You can just turn down the sensitivity. That's it.
Interesting.
Which that helps CB's put in like bit, but not much.
Yeah, did it? CB's put in like a work week with that game at this point, so there's no rush. Just play it to enjoy it for sure. But what are you liking about it?
Is it just me or is Scott very excitable right now? Feels like he's very excited.
Yeah,
you feel fast.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be fast. I'm very excited that I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight. That's all I'll say. I'm getting old. Cherish my sleep. But
you didn't get a good night's sleep on Valentine's Day. Is that what you're saying?
Is that?
I slept very well. I slept very well.
Sorry,
so
Alyssa, I didn't mean to cut
okay.
right up.
What do you like about Dying Light 2 so much, despite the motion sickness?
I just like traversing the city and meeting these characters, and that's pretty much as far as I've gotten. I'm still basically in the tutorial section of the game 2 hours later.
Wow. Have you seen like the title screen yet? As it said, told you you're playing Dying Light 2 yet?
I think it shows it before the game even starts.
Okay. You know what I'm talking about? How some games, like, they don't even... You get playing, like, for an hour or so, and all of a sudden it comes across the screen what you're playing?
Yeah. They show a cinematic before the game before you get to the startup menu that explains what happened in the first game and what's going on in this game. And then it shows the title card, I believe, and then you go to the start menu.
Gotcha.
Is this the same main character as Dying Light 1? CB was confused.
No, this is a different one. This character's name is Aiden Caldwell. I forget what the first character's name was. Something Crane or...
Probably something equally as generic, like Ethan.
But Jonah Scott does do a very good job voicing Aiden. I will say that.
You're a fan of him, right? Going into this?
Yes. I mostly know him from anime. I think this might be his first video game role or one of his firsts. He does a good job.
Nice. Dying Light 2. I'm sure we'll hear more about that from CB later as well, as he probably beat it last week. I'm not envious at all. At all. Zach, what about you?
Well, I beat Sifu, which I remember talking about last week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I beat it again.
Whoa.
Oh, you beat it twice.
Yes, because there's something you can do with the bosses that I didn't know, that I figured out on my own and I feel kind of proud of.
Nice.
You should be.
Is it considered a spoiler to say what that is that you can do to the bosses?
Well, it was fun for me to learn it, so I kind of don't want to take away the potential. But there are multiple ways to handle things in the game. Either way, yeah, I beat it in like 6 or so hours, and now I'm at like 18-ish. So I've put more time into it after beating it than I did to beat it.
That's interesting.
The combat is it's that fun, man. It's just really cool. And there are a lot of routes you can take through the levels, even though there are only 5 of them. It's just and once you learn the game's obnoxious skill tree, and you learn to navigate it correctly.
Well, plus after you put in the time, don't you like have some of those things unlocked permanently?
Like I said, you kind of brute force the things you actually need.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb, man. I don't know why they did it like that, but yeah, if you're on the fence, certainly pick it up on a sale or something. It's just very cool game. It's not your friend.
Well, you don't like skill trees anyway, so the fact that they make one so convoluted probably doesn't help. Yeah,
well, you're right. I think skill trees are mostly pointless. But yeah, this one is especially terrible. It's very frustrating to not remember what skills you have in a fighting game.
Right.
Yeah, I think you made the comparison last week about, you go into Street Fighter, it's like you try to go to do a Hadouken. You're like, oh, I forgot to get a Hadouken while I went, when I got to the arcade today.
It costs an extra $quarter to have a Hadouken this match.
But if you pay me $5, but you have to pay me the quarter first, and then I'll let you pay me $5 so you keep the Hadouken.
It almost sounds like microtransactions without the money.
It's really a strange system. And then I also finally beat Demon's Souls, which was in a slow month-long trek. And I think I kind of did it in the weird way where I saved the last world, which is notoriously the most difficult levels with the easiest bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I just kind of steamrolled 3 bosses in a row because the final boss of the game is very, very easy on purpose. Like narratively, it's actually, I think it's quite brilliant. In fact, but it's just kind of they ended with such a whimper of me just steamrolling the game. It felt weird in a Souls game.
That's my favorite way to do it. We talked about that a little bit last week.
You like to feel OP, right? You like to feel godlike in games.
Yeah.
I like to feel like a squirrely little mouse on death's door at all times. That's my preferred gameplay.
So you like the masochistic gameplay style?
I feel like it makes the victory all the sweeter.
I get that.
But now I've beaten Sifu and Demon's Souls. I beat 2 incredibly hard games back to back, and it's just now I have this gaping hole that's just waiting for Elden Ring to come in and fill it.
And that's next weekend, right?
Yeah, next Friday. Yeah, next Friday.
Yeah, not too much longer.
Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin teaming up.
Yeah, I'll be deep in Horizon. You'll be deep in Elden Ring. We'll have a lot to talk about next week.
I'll be in Horizon as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll have to meet up on Discord or whatever and chat while we go through and play it together.
Okay.
Go over here. That'd be fun.
That would be.
There's a little group of Twitter people that I'm part of where we all took a pact to not look up any spoilers or anything, so we can all kind of discover each other and talk like playground style.
What? Why am I not a part of this group on Twitter?
I didn't know you were an Elden Ring aficionado. I also don't know if
I thought you were talking about Horizon.
Oh, I don't care about that game.
Okay. Never mind.
Let's say I also don't know if I have invite privileges. I was invited.
We can start our own group, Alyssa. Anybody wants to join me and Alyssa's, packed group? We'll start a channel on Discord where we only share stuff with each other. We don't look up anything online.
I'm going to look up spoilers and share them all.
Do not do that. Zack will not be invited to the group. As for me, believe it or not, I am still picking away at Nobody Saves the World. I reached level 50 this week. This game is way bigger than I expected it to be. I've got to where I probably could beat the game, but I have this weird checklist obsession of clearing all the dungeons, even the non-necessary ones, and completing these quests that are barely ticking up my experience. But I unlocked all the characters or all the forms. Remember I talking about there's 18 different forms. I finally unlocked the final form, which is pretty powerful and big.
Was it Shovel Knight?
No, it was not Shovel Knight. It was Shovel Knight. That'd be weird.
I feel like he's been in a lot of cameos in other indie games. He was in Yooka-Laylee, I remember.
Yeah.
No, this was a pretty large dragon that breathes
Ooh.
fire, and he's very large compared to the other characters, so he has a lot of hit points, which is beneficial. So, I feel like this is a game that I'm going. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I really want to kind of go through and get all the achievements. One of the achievements is to complete the game on New Game Plus, which feels like you have to play on New Game Plus to even get all of the characters up to S rank anyway. So I don't know. I'm really digging this, so I may go for it because I got to play some games for me, right?
That's true. You got to treat yourself.
I'll try not to take it personally that you'll New Game Plus this, but not near.
Well, I didn't even game. I didn't even finish the first one, so
I could just see Zack's heart breaking.
I meant Replicant, Scott.
I did. Oh, Replicant.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be, I think I've been pretty direct with you on it. I enjoyed the experience, but not enough to want to keep going again. Some of the side stuff just kind of dragged for me, and I know I have to do all the side stuff because I'm Scott Clark. That's just what I do.
Also, you need all the weapons to get the real ending anyway.
Right, and I can just ask you about those endings, so... So yeah, Nobody Saves the World. I really hope I finish that before Friday because Friday is going to be dedicated to Horizon. I've tried to not read the actual reviews because the embargo dropped this past week, but I've unfortunately read the headlines and they've been very positive.
Yeah, it's mostly glowing. I just feel like the only negative thing I'm seeing is that the plot is kind of boring.
I didn't even read that far. I read it.
I didn't either.
It's a lot of the same thing as the... No, I wasn't... I don't care. Okay. I've read that the gameplay loop is very, very similar to the original, but it just looks prettier, and that's exactly what I want to hear.
I saw one GIF, and I hope this is not a spoiler, where Aloy jumped off of a mountain and then grapple hooked a pterodactyl and took it over mid-flight.
That sounds amazing.
And I was like, dude, I might have to play Horizon.
Yeah. You just got done saying you don't care about it.
That 4-second GIF did better salesmanship than anything PlayStation's done up to that point. That just sounds so cool.
Yeah. Outside of that, I know this. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct later in this episode, but I did fire up Earthbound on Nintendo Switch Online, which is one of my favorite JRPGs from that era. Plays exactly the same. The music and everything just gets me super nostalgic. I love that game. So that's going to be my bedtime game, I think.
Is that a long game?
Maybe 15, 16 hours, maybe 20. It's been a while.
Good. No, I like that. No, that's good. I wish modern JRPGs had the strength to be 15 hours.
Oh, for sure.
I'd have to double check. It's been a few years since I played it. I played through it on the Wii U. Remember when we all used, or not all of us, but some of us used the Wii U in tablet mode like a Switch before it was a Switch?
Like
all 12 million of you that owned one?
Yeah. I did that all the time. I hooked up my Wii U right next to my couch, like the end table, and I would just have the Wii U sitting there and I would play it in tablet mode because it was just, I like doing that. So, man, that game gets me very, very nostalgic. And Nintendo also put on, that strategy guide that came with the original physical copy on Super Nintendo. It's like really hard to come by now because
was it included in the game or
yeah?
No? Oh, it was okay.
It was like it was the only Super Nintendo box that came it was like the size of a strategy guide because it had the strategy guide in it.
I have to imagine that's quite expensive these days. Yes.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember if I talked about it on this show, but I gifted my copy of it to somebody in the Rotten Tomatoes community.
You do that way too often, man.
I know.
You just give away you haven't given me anything that rare. What are you doing?
Aw.
Wow. Field trip 2022. No, but I gave him the game, the box, the manual, the strategy guide, everything. And at that time it was worth, maybe $200. And now it's upwards of, $2,000. So
the retro market is it's not coming down, is it? This is just what it is.
It just keeps getting worse.
Yep.
It just keeps getting worse. So absolutely loving Earthbound. But anyway, my point was that Nintendo has actually made a PDF of that strategy guide available online for free, which I thought was nuts. You can just download it and have it digitally. I mean, I have another copy of the strategy guide, but I don't have the box.
It's actually kind of an incredible thing to do. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Could you imagine printing off that strategy guide like in the old days when we'd go on like game FAQs and print off every single page of a strategy guide and staple it together.
Did you? So listen, I'm glad that you've done that too. I remember doing that as a kid.
And my uncle did that, and when
really?
I'd borrow games from him, he'd give me that strategy guide that he had printed out and be like, "Here you go."
I remember waiting for my grandparents to go to bed, and I would print off the Zelda guide while they were sleeping.
Nice.
Because, dude, if they knew I was using that much ink off for a video game, they would have lost it.
It's a lot of paper and a lot of ink.
Do you remember? I remember those FAQs on GameFAQs.com. They always had those like artwork done on it with like symbols.
ASCII art.
Yeah. That was like that would have taken me just as much time to do that as it would have to actually like write the FAQ. So man, that was just like my go-to for everything back in the day before YouTube was as big as it was.
In fact, yeah.
And trying to scroll through and find where you were supposed to get your answer was nuts. It was crazy. The good old days. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. All right, new trailers this week. Just one that stood out to me, a game called Forest Grove. It comes to all major consoles and PC in Q3. I thought it looked pretty interesting. In other news, Sony is censoring Martha is Dead on PS4 and PS5. I have a feeling we'll definitely talk about that. Platinum Games wants to bring back Scalebound, and it looks like the Resident Evil 4 remake, if it is in fact true, could be quite different from the original. And then today seemed like a pretty big news day. BioShock is finally getting a movie on Netflix. Knuckles is getting his own television series on Paramount Plus. Horizon Zero Dawn / Forbidden West is getting a Lego set, and the CD Projekt Red kind of surprised us with a next-gen release of Cyberpunk 2077 that came out today. Lots of things to mention. Alyssa, where would you like to start?
I'll start off with the censorship of Martha is Dead, because this is a game I've been anticipating for, I think, a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm. When
it was first announced, and Sony said they're going to censor this one particular scene at least, which I have seen this.
I have too. Are we going to say what that is? Is that considered a spoiler?
I don't know if we should. It's circulating all over Twitter.
Right.
I don't know if we should say it, though.
Okay, that's fine.
It's just, I will say, it's gross, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be censored on Xbox or PC.
Right.
And I don't really know why PlayStation wants to censor it.
It's bizarre to me. Censorship is kind of a touchy subject with a lot of people anyway. But let me read the quote from Wired Productions, which is the publisher. It is with regret we have to modify the experience on Sony's consoles with some elements no longer playable. So this was not their decision. They released it as is on Xbox and PC. But yeah, PS4, PS5, you'll get a neutered version of Martha's Dead. And the funny thing to me about this story is all this is going to do is sell more copies of the game, in my opinion. I mean, other than
the competitor's console, though.
Possibly, yeah. Which, and I'm not saying that, again, I always sound like an Xbox fanboy. That's not at all what I mean. That makes me laugh, but the other thing that makes me laugh are the people on Twitter that are complaining about how gross this scene is and how awful and, this shouldn't be on there, but they're putting the scene on Twitter.
They are.
So
they're
it's
also
okay. Weirdly praising a that's censoring art, which is that's not a good stance to have.
Right. I mean, yeah, the whole censorship thing gets touchy because there have been some things where I was like, really? Do we have to have a game about people, doing mass shootings of innocent people like that? That
hatred?
Yeah. Like that just rubbed me the wrong way, but I never said, hey, we should censor this game. I just thought it was just a dumb idea.
That's my thing is I just don't play it.
Yeah. Don't play the game.
Who cares if it exists? I don't really understand. The Sony thing is bothersome.
Mm-hmm.
It was already annoying that they were censoring sexual content, but only out of Japan territories, never America.
Right.
Which is just, it feels borderline racist. Just to be be real, like you have to cover up anime cleavage, but you can have full frontal female nudity.
When Devil May Cry 5? Yeah, 5 came out, and they censored Trish.
Right.
With that ray of light.
They censored butts. Butts! The thing that everybody has. This is especially annoying because the scene, whilst yes gross, is no worse than anything in The Last of Us or God of War.
And honestly, this is a horror game, and if you've watched horror movies, you're going to see some. I mean, I can think of a movie that has a similar scene to this that I've watched, and it was more gruesome.
Right, you go into a horror game assuming you'll be uncomfortable. That's kind of the point of them.
And there is a rating system, just saying.
Yeah, this sucks top to bottom, and yeah, it makes me want to. It honestly makes me want to buy the game on Xbox, even if I'm not going to play it, just to kind of put your money where it matters, kind of thing.
Right. Same here.
This is dumb. Like there are so many Asian games that are coming out where Nintendo has the uncensored version, but PlayStation does not.
And that's crazy.
We're in a bizarro world.
It's insane. There's a game some months ago. Some indie game. It was nonsense, but you could make a female character and she could be topless on the Switch, but you could not be topless on the PlayStation.
I've seen some stuff on Switch that you would not believe.
It's nutty, right? Like Nintendo, the family company, is less old-fashioned than PlayStation is right now.
Crazy. I don't know. But to my earlier point, I was like on the fence about this game. Like, I mean, not that I wasn't interested, but you know, Alyssa is set to review this game for us.
I think I requested it for PlayStation, but I don't want to play it on PlayStation now.
Right. I mean, I'm tempted to reach out to my contact and be like, "Can we get the Xbox version instead?"
Yeah, I don't feel like
our reviewer wants the uncensored version.
Right, that's not unreasonable.
Right. So, you know, I wasn't gonna make a point to play it unless, like, you know, Alyssa just had, you know, raving, glowing recommendations for it. But now that this news has come out, part of me wants to just pick it up for principal reasons, like Zack is talking about. But also, I just kind of want to see what everybody's talking about. Is it more than just that scene? Or, you know, I don't know. I like it when people push the envelope.
Shout out to Wire Productions for just throwing PlayStation right under the bus, though. Big respect.
Yeah.
Saying not everyone would have done that.
Nope.
That'll damage your future relations, but they're just like, yeah, Sony sucks, man.
Yeah, what do you know? Some people can call out big entities for their crappy wrongdoings.
Yeah, who knew? You just got to put your principles before your paychecks once. Who knew?
You want to go there? You want to go there or no?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Wait, where are we going?
I was talking about our text conversation earlier.
No, I don't want to go there on here. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Everybody's wondering what the hell we're talking about.
No.
But
join our Discord.
Yes, join our Discord for sure. Alyssa, which of these stories stuck out to you as noteworthy?
I just picked one, so...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
See, Scott's wired up, man. There's something going on.
Alyssa, your response was just so excellent. I just thought I'd give you a second go at it. I did not make a mistake. But you know what? Since you did, it's only fair. I should probably let Zack take one. So, Zack, what would you like to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to say about it other than I think it's cool that Knuckles is getting a TV show.
Yeah?
I especially like that Idris Elba is coming with him.
Are you a fan of Idris Elba?
Of course. I loved his...
I saw your face when you first mentioned his name. I'm like, oh...
Well, he's a very handsome man, but I really like before when they were recording or they were interviewing about Knuckles before the trailer came out, and he was like, "We tried really hard to make sure I didn't make Knuckles sound sexy," and then the trailer came out, and everyone was like, "You failed."
Yeah, totally did not do a good job on that front. I also read that there's going to be a third Sonic movie already.
Right? Yeah, they already confirmed one.
Yeah, and the second one's not even out yet.
Sonic franchise, boy.
Yeah.
You have to have the third one, man. You can't not put Shadow on the big screen.
Oh man, I didn't
gotta have Shadow. Chaos Control.
Who do you want to voice Shadow?
I don't know. Some celebrity I'm not even thinking of yet.
Yeah.
They'll probably get The Rock or somebody.
Well, he's no. Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Chris Pratt just has every video game character from this point on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you need some, even maybe like a Jackie Earl Haley.
Oh,
that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be a good choice.
There you go. There you go. As for me, I got to talk about it. The big daddy in the room. BioShock getting a movie on Netflix. It was announced on Twitter today. There's no writer or filmmaker currently attached to the project, but part of me wondered if
that really gives me hope.
Yeah. So basically, I read that as we made a deal with 2K. 2K is letting us use the license, and that's as far as we've gotten.
Right. And this is us letting directors know if you want a job.
Yeah, I actually saw some directors on Twitter being like, I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah.
So
I would not, man. That's a tough project to bring to the screen.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you see any of the concept art?
Sure. Yeah.
It looks very BioShocky. Like whoever's doing that concept art clearly played the games. So I don't know.
I would have liked to have seen Gore Verbinski's R-rated BioShock.
Yeah. I don't know how you don't do BioShock R-rated, honestly.
Well, that's why he left.
So they're going to make it PG-13?
No.
Since it's on Netflix, they can do whatever they want now.
That was a different studio.
Gotcha.
I think they were wanting to do a theatrical release originally.
Yeah, Netflix is putting out an NC-17 Ana de Armas movie. Like they don't care
about Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all in on the spicy stuff. Unlike PlayStation.
You're just gonna keep bringing that up.
It's so lame. It's because there was like that weird internal struggle over Sony, because Sony America and Sony East or whatever have always been at war about like who should steer the company's direction. And right now, Sony West is on top of the power dynamic. So now they're bringing all these weird Puritan principles in from like the 60s, 50s. Anyway. BioShock movie, that could be cool. It's kind of weird because BioShock is one of those select category of games where I would say the story could only be told in a video game. So hopefully,
because of choice matters.
Yes.
Well, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, but that really plays.
The slave obeys.
Right. What a good game! What a good video game.
So amazing.
My first thought when I saw this was, is this the one The Rock was talking about? But I was like, there's no way. There's not like a beefy, muscular dude.
Oh, he would be very, very wrong for Jack.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope that's not the case.
Oh, that would be the
part of me.
Could you imagine if he was Andrew Ryan?
Oh, dude, no.
Or Fontaine.
Oh,
no.
I guess he could almost work as Atlas, the last boss or whatever.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of goofy.
Like from the Scorpion King. Remember that horrible CGI from that movie?
From the Mummy Returns.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah, it was Mummy Returns. My bad. No, I mean, part of me wants him nothing near this project for that reason, but also because I really hope that whatever The Rock was talking about is Gears of War.
Yeah, so I really hope he's Dom.
Yeah, he needs to be Dom, like so bad. But anyway, so those are the three, but I can't not talk about some of these other ones.
Well, hopefully when they remake BioShock, they don't mess with anything too big like they will with this Resident Evil remake.
Oh, look at you. Look at that. I like it. Again, this still isn't like confirmed, right? It's not like officially confirmed that RE4 is being remade.
It's the most wide open secret in the world.
Right. I just know you don't like to talk about rumors because technically this is still a rumor.
Right, but this is like everybody just reports on it.
Yeah.
Like some of
them
don't
it's
even,
fact.
Yeah, and some of them don't even like cite Twitter sources. They're just like, yeah, hey, look, man, I also know this. Like, so it just seems like, yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake is happening. It is shifted internal. Apparently, they're changing a bunch of stuff around, which, your mileage may vary. I think the most shocking thing to my heart was hearing that the opening village scene will be at night. Right,
because you're the biggest RE4 purist I know.
It's a great game.
It is a great game.
Now, I was thinking the other day, Scott, and I don't remember what conjured it up, but I was finally like, I guess it would be okay to move and shoot at the same time.
If that doesn't happen in the Resident Evil 4 remake, I am going to throw my controller across the room, because, man, that was so frustrating to me.
But what was kind of cool about Resident Evil 4 was that you did start at, like, dusk, And as you progress through the linear game, like, you go in the caves or whatever, and you would come out, and now it's darker or whatever. And then by the time you get to the end of the game, it's the sunrise. I like that it was just the game reflected. Yeah, it is a very single night adventure, but I like that the game made sure to remind you that time was passing. It was very good for the atmosphere.
Well, plus it was really well done to be able to pull off horror that was still scary and unnerving when it was light out.
Right.
How many horror movies do that?
Yeah, I mean, the night is scarier for most people, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about the village scene with all the torches and stuff, it could probably look pretty cool on modern hardware at night, and some hot ray tracing fires out there.
Mm-hmm.
But
there'll be DLC to play the village scene during the day, just for Zack.
Yeah, but it speaks to a broader concern I have, because they also mention in this article that they're going to be focusing on the side characters more, which feels unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
They did say they're going to. Is Sherry? I don't think is Sherry in this game.
Isn't she the one that you have to escort and put in barrels and stuff?
Oh, you mean Ashley?
Ashley, I'm sorry. Sherry's
Sherry's
the
earlier
ones.
T, right?
Yeah, my bad.
Ashley, who hopefully is just wearing a suit of armor the whole game, like you get in New Game Plus. But it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It just feels like they're changing stuff. It's okay as long as they keep how goofy that game is, because I feel like people often forget how insane that video game is.
What are you buying?
And that's just the surface, right? A giant statue comes to life and chases you down a hallway. You just turn a corner once. There's laser grids you have to dodge through before you go and just sit on a throne for no reason. You just press the button, and Leon just poses in the throne, and it zooms in on him, and it serves no purpose at all.
I don't remember that at all.
It's sick, dude. And then right after that, you have a knife fight with your old commanding officer, but it's like a sword fight, but with knives. It's just so goofy.
Wasn't there some cheesy lines that he says too, even in that opening village scene?
Yes, I can't really remember any of them right now on the spot, but yeah, he's got a lot of goofy lines, and he's also this incredibly flirtatious kind of Lothario dude in that game, Leon, which they've already changed for the VR game, so it does not give me a lot of hope for the remake.
As long as we don't get Leon from the Resident Evil movie, I am going to be pretty much okay.
Fair enough, but he should invite Hunnigan out for dinner once his mission's over, Hunnigan. But I don't know if it'll happen.
I could see there being more of a focus on. Isn't Ada make an appearance in this one at some point?
Yeah, and she had a separate storyline which they're extending, I guess.
Right, I could see that being a thing. I don't know. It said it could be more horror and supernatural in tone rather than campy, which I know is not what you want.
But I think most people, when they think about Resident Evil, I feel like they forget about all the campiness.
I do. I don't remember it being as campy until hearing you talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember some of those goofy.
Right. So if the idea of most of those remakes is to make the game as you remember it, not as it was, I can see why you would do the tone change. And it's just, I feel like people are in they like their stories more serious nowadays, especially in games. So I feel like
I don't know why.
I don't know if the camp would deliver as well.
Here's my ask. I want the box art to be reminiscent of the original Japanese box art for Biohazard 4. Do you remember that?
It's
where the dude with the chainsaw was up the top of a hill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want that box art, but I don't know if it'll sell because we got to have
maybe they'll launch it with the chainsaw controller.
Oh, that'd be cool.
One peripheral that CB does not currently own. I mean, it is only, 5:45 at night. Who knows by the time he comes back for the next week. But he's come close to pulling the trigger on that one, but does not have that one in his collection. So anyway, that is the week's news. Is there anything else you guys want to mention real quick before we get out of here? Before we go on to other things? You know what? I do want to mention one thing. Cyberpunk 2077 getting that next gen release. I still haven't even hit the title screen of that game, and I own it. So part of me feels like I should almost jump in now and play it, just to be like, That's why I didn't touch it. I was waiting for the next gen upgrade and the ray tracings.
So you'd be like you'd be everybody else.
Just to make myself sound cool. No, I just didn't play it. Just didn't do it. So.
Well, that's good. That's the right attitude. They didn't earn your playtime until now, until they finished the game.
They don't care about my playtime. They just wanted my dollars.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, it seems like the revisionist history on the game already seems to be flowing rather positively.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of good things. So, but I wanted to mention that as well. But let's go ahead and move on. Would like to remind everybody that yes, we are an independently funded podcast, which means we do pay for all of our podcast hosting services and everything on our own. And we ask for help from you guys with a Patreon where you guys can contribute monthly with a subscription. And all those fees go to pay for the costs of the show, as well as review copies of games which we purchase and then give back to the community via giveaway. Actually, Mark Szymanski won the copy of Dying Light 2, which he received in the mail on Sunday, and he's already diving in and playing that, so he was very excited. So congratulations to him. This weekend, I will be giving away a copy of Horizon Forbidden West, which I will be playing and reviewing for the site, but that one will not go out to you until I beat that game, so I may just have to go ahead and buy myself a digital copy of that game, because who knows how long it will take me to get through that one, but looking forward to it. But anyway, patron subscribers do get bonus content. If you're at the $3 per month level, you get one bonus episode each month. If you're at the $5 per month level, you get 2 bonus episodes each month. And we've got some good ones coming up on the horizon. See what I did there? First off, we sat down with Stoyan Jovic from the EXP cast to talk about desert island games. Which games would you like to be stuck with on an island? It's a new series that Zack came up with the idea for, and we're going to do that with some listeners, some of our Patreon subscribers, to come on and talk about that. Also, Zack, CB, and I are going to sit down and talk about a Retro Outsider episode for Star Fox Adventures, which CB and I played this weekend for the first time in about 20 years. And looking forward to sharing our thoughts on that.
It's the best Zelda game, right?
It's very much a Zelda game. It really is.
I just remember when I was an edgy teenager, I would go on online forums and say Star Fox Adventures is the best Zelda game, just to make people.
That sounds like a Zack thing to do.
Yeah, I didn't even believe it.
Oh, really? You just said it just to be cutting edge?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I liked it a lot, and everyone else hated it. If you remember, dude, that game, people were not nice to that game when it came out.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, so I felt like I did have to defend it, and that was a fun way to do so.
Yeah. Also, the Uncharted movie releases this weekend, so we're going to do a spoiler cast for that on Patreon. And then also this weekend, Zack, CB, and Christina are going to sit down and talk about the Halo series, as Christina has gone through the first 5 games, I think in co-op mode with her boyfriend, over the past, 3 months? She's gone through all those games, so we're going to get a break the seal from her on that. But if any of those episodes or any of our past content interests you, do us a favor, head over to patreon.com/thegocast. We'd love to have you as a contributor and get access to that content. With that, let's go ahead and jump into the newer games that we've been playing. Zack, not that it matters. I already know what I'm going to be playing this weekend, but what is coming out that other people like you who aren't interested in Horizon might want to check out?
Well, the premiere Musou Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, PC, and Stadia.
They're still making those, or is this like a port?
I just got an email about the new Stadia games of the week.
Really?
Because I bought that Stadia when it was on sale for $20 and have not touched it.
You didn't even hook it up, did you?
I did hook it up. I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because I have a $10 off coupon, and I went through their shop, and I was like, I don't want to buy any of this. There's so many. They've given me like 100 free games in like just the 2 months I've owned it, though.
Really? Like a Game Pass type of situation, or?
Yeah, like because they have a subscription service, and they give you a few months of it for free at the top.
Gotcha.
But man, I just have loaded me up on games.
Wow.
I got Life is Strange Remastered for free.
Wow.
Just
like you
out.
own it, or
that one? I think that one I think I own. Can't remember. They have different levels. Either way,
fire it up, man, and let me know how it plays.
Well, I wanted to, back before the Cyberpunk had a next gen, I was like, maybe I should play Cyberpunk there because it's running on a high end PC and just stream to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can get Keanu in full HD.
It's a good idea.
4K, yeah. can try to seduce Keanu Reeves. Anyway, Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection comes to you Nintendo Switch February 17th. That's a great day, February 17th.
It's your birthday.
It is.
I remembered.
So if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, this podcast, happy birthday to me. The King of Fighters 15 comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One PC, February 17th. From Heaven to Earth comes to Xbox One, Switch, and PC, February 17th. RTS game Total War Warhammer comes to PC, February 17th. Our Lord and Savior Yoko Taro blesses us with a new game with the Voice of Cards, The Forsaken Maiden, coming to PS4, Switch, and PC, February 17th. I assume this is a game most people will be playing. Horizon Forbidden West comes to PS5 and PS4 on February 18th. And then Super Toy Cars Off-Road is a racing game coming to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC, February 18th. Quick note about Horizon Forbidden West, in case you don't know, although you won't have a lot of time to be saved when this comes out. Do not buy the PS5 version. It is $10 more and gets you nothing. The PS4 version can be upgraded for free for $60 to the PS5 version. So you'd have to be a low-level fool to buy the PS5 version, which Sony wants you to do because all of their marketing is revolved around the PS5 version, and even their store really tries to disguise the fact that you can upgrade for free. Mm-hmm. And they're only doing this because when they announced their games, this was that they typoed this and said it was coming as a free upgrade.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because, I mean, I probably would have figured it out, or I did ask you about it, because I went to buy the PS5 version, and I could not find the PS5 version available on Amazon.
Yeah.
And talked to you about it.
I looked into it after you sent me that, and some retailers are just not carrying the PS5 version because of this.
But good on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good on them.
There is no reason as a consumer to buy the PS5 version.
Right. So yeah, So I mentioned on our giveaway that it is the PS5 version of Horizon Forbidden West, but it's actually the PS4 version that you can get the PS5 version. So get the best of both worlds there. But right. Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West. I am so excited. I'm going to watch a recap of the first game. I mean, I know the basic gist, but I just would like to have a refresher without having to play through the whole game. It's
so dense with its techno babble that just makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on.
But I'm looking forward to shooting glowy bits off of mechanical dinosaurs with a bow and arrow.
That was a big... That first game came out, it was a big couple weeks for post-apocalyptic sci-fi with Horizon, Nier Automata, and Breath of the Wild all at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good time. What about you, Alyssa?
Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume
you, me?
Most people Horizon, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Zack is excited for...
oh yeah, I'm going all in.
Yoko Taro's game.
Voice of Cards, The Forsaken Maiden. You guys play your fancy, perhaps best-looking game ever. I'm going to be playing with my deck of cards.
On your birthday.
Yeah. Dude, it's a good birthday, man.
Yeah, best birthday present ever.
Yeah, Yoko Taro game on birthday, Uncharted movie, the Peacemaker finale. It's going to be a good day, guys.
Sounds like a good day. Are you working on your birthday?
No.
Nice. Even better.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to clean up.
My birthday's on a Sunday this year.
Well,
I don't know when mine is.
A Thursday is normally not a good day for a birthday.
Yeah. Not as bad as Wednesday, but it's not good.
Well, mine's July 30th, whatever day that is. I don't know.
Yeah, that's ways. Anyway, Alyssa, you've been playing some weeb nonsense with Maglam Lord.
I have been, yes.
Couldn't get that out. Tell us, is this the one? Is this look mobile phone gamey to you?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't look like it to me.
No, I'm sure there were two games that came out like recently that were both budget looking JRPGs, and one of them looked like a straight up phone game. But it's good to know this is not the one.
Yeah, this one's really interesting, and in the game they pronounce that word as Maglam.
Oh no,
it's weird.
I hate when they do this.
But the game is in all Japanese with English subtitles, so they're pronouncing their A's like they do in Japan.
Oh, okay.
So over here, people would say Maglam. So whichever way you prefer.
Like manga.
Yeah, manga. Let's go get some manga.
Manga.
It's manga. But this is a really cool game, actually. I'm enjoying it so far.
Okay.
Because it rolls up a visual novel, a JRPG, and a little bit of a dating sim into one game and makes it really interesting.
Oh, a dating sim.
That has Alyssa White written all over it.
It does. And when you start the game, you can choose to either be a demon. Well, you're a demon lord, but you can choose to be male or female. So I obviously chose to be the hot female demon lord.
Right, just like you in real life.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah,
That is the best compliment I've ever received, Zach.
Wow.
wow. I'm blushing now.
I am too.
Look at us.
But I'm really enjoying it, and it's so cute when you go to play the JRPG parts, which are mostly fetch quests, but there are some boss battles and killing other creatures that are... I forgot the word. Harming the world.
Oh no, well, they're bad guys.
Yeah, they're bad guys. But just seeing the little characters, they make them like little chibi characters. And they're just running across the battlefield, and it's so cute. But I pretty much love everything about this game, and it does go a lot deeper than what I'm making it out to be, because it does look very cutesy, very anime-like when you're playing it, but then it gets really deep, especially the boss battles. Those throw you off. They're hard.
Right. The fights are kind of action-y, right?
Yeah, they're pure action, which you can cast some spells, but mostly you're going to be pushing the square button or the X button or whatever platform you're on. But the thing is about the boss battles, you have to upgrade your Maglams, which in the title, they're just weapons. But you can put enchantments on them, markings that make them stronger or have different affinities. And if you don't have the right combination and the right armor, you are going to be annihilated by these bosses. Okay. I've been stuck on some for a bit until I figured out, I need to use this Maglam and have this armor on.
So it does give you some challenge.
It is, and you do need to grind some beforehand to reach the level, which that's not really an issue for me. The enemies do get repetitive, but they're not hard. Just the bosses are where they start to kick your butt.
Interesting. Okay.
And then just the dialogue in between, the visual novel style of it. Humorous. I love it. You can choose to be funny, cool, or demonic, which funny is nice, cool is neutral, demonic is rude.
Sure. Well, some men love the rude girls. So
that's
true. Yeah,
that's true. And you can, out of the characters you can choose, you can pretty much romance any of them. So it doesn't hold you back. Whichever one, you fancy, you can try to win their heart.
Okay, I like that. It's very, it's very modern.
It is,
right?
Yeah. And for a budget game, not yet, but I'm just in about 4 hours in. So I'm assuming it's going to be a slow build here.
Is there a character you're focusing on that you're interested in?
I am focusing on a character named Charm.
Okay.
And I'm trying my best.
Are they charming?
She is very charming. Yes, her brother, on the other hand, is not.
Oh,
but
no.
For some reason, my game is saying that both of them are attracted to me, and I am responding to them both the same way. So
he's trying to donut block you.
I don't know which one I'm going to end up with.
You might have to get in the middle of a sibling sandwich.
That sounds so wrong.
That game's definitely not going to be allowed on Sony.
I am playing this on Xbox, so...
Oh, that's funny.
For a budget game, this is actually really impressive, and I'm having fun with it.
Oh, I thought you were playing on PlayStation.
I am playing on PlayStation. Why am I saying I'm playing this on PlayStation?
Oh, okay.
My mind is not working right tonight, guys.
Oh, it is a lot on Sony then. Well,
yeah, it is.
Not Zack's version, for sure.
Right, well, yeah, that you gotta go to Steam.
I'm sorry for saying it was Xbox. I feel bad about that now.
Well, I mean, yeah. So, yeah. It doesn't seem like the hardware really matters. It doesn't strike me as a game that's gonna get too sexy.
No. I mean, the drawings are nice to look at, but I mean, they don't really move or anything, so...
Yeah.
You don't get that jiggle? Is that what you're saying?
No, there are no jiggle physics. It's okay.
You sound very disappointed.
That's right. Hashtag
no
bring back jiggle.
No.
You need to get some of those devs from Dead or Alive to come help on this game a little bit.
Where they jiggle into, or like Rise Summon a Rome, where they would jiggle independently of each other and stuff.
Wasn't that the game that you had a slider for the gravity? Was it Dead or Alive, or am I thinking of a different one?
Oh, it might be. I don't know.
I think you could do it in Saints Row, I think.
Oh my goodness.
I remember Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball on the original Xbox. Yeah. Mm-hmm. great graphics. That's why I picked it up, of course. It was just to see what the Xbox could do.
Yeah. Just see how long you get before you get busted by somebody.
Your parents walking in and being like, what are you playing?
Say my mother gave me a copy of American Pie when I was 8, so I don't think she would care too much.
That's true.
That would be mild for her. She'd be like, what is this child nonsense?
That was how she did the birds and the bees talk with you. Was here's a copy of American Pie.
She's like, here's Shannon Elizabeth's boobs. And I was like, thank you.
She takes her vitamins. One of my favorite lines in that movie.
That's good. Eugene Levy.
So anyway, are you recommending Maglam Lord?
Definitely if you're into JRPGs, visual novels, dating sims.
Gotcha.
Any of those three, all of those three, you're going to like it.
Every time Alyssa comes on and talks about a game, I want to play it.
Yeah? I'm surprised you're not more into visual novels than you are.
I like them. It's just, I read, if I didn't read books as often, I think, maybe I would squeeze them in more. I don't know. I want to get into them more. For a while, they were kind of restricted to the handhelds, I feel like, Vita or 3DS kind of thing. So, you know, now that they're more on consoles, you're right. I should probably look into it more.
Yeah. Well, moving on, let's go ahead and talk about a game that you've been playing, Zach. You kind of took the bullet for me on this one. CrossfireX, which is available on Game Pass. I assume that's where you played it, correct?
Right. Yes, I did.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know that Remedy's name is attached to this, but I keep hearing something that like Remedy didn't develop it or didn't develop all of it, or
didn't they just do the campaign?
Right.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, their name's all over the campaign.
Oh, okay.
I think Smilegate made the multiplayer.
Gotcha. Okay. I couldn't remember for sure, but and before you go in and tell what you are going to say about this game, I got to express a frustration because I was planning to play this game because I haven't played anything new because I've been so obsessed with Nobody Saves the World. And I was going to finally sit down and play something new this week. I downloaded this game, and I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I could not access the campaign.
You're not alone. It was a widespread issue.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
So in order to access for me to get into the campaign, first I booted it up, and there's a campaign menu option. I clicked on it and said I didn't have access. I had to buy it.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, well, that's dumb. So then I just closed out the game. I think I watched an episode of the Shenmue anime. And then I was like, all right, I got to see what this Crossfire is doing. And this, just play the multiplayer or whatever. And then this time, I just clicked on the campaign. And I was like, hey, do you want to install it? I was like, sure. And then it closed Crossfire and updated it for quite a while. A 20 gigabyte update. And then when I booted it back up, it let me play the campaign. Well, first it said, it said something about purchase like rights or something like that. And I just hit cancel. And then it just loaded it anyway.
Nice.
So if this should tell you a small tale of how much care was put into this product.
It also bugged me that I had to actually scroll through a user agreement in order to be able to... Two different user agreements.
Oh,
three of them?
I think there's 3. Maybe I'm mistaken.
That drives me crazy. I understand that you got to prove that they look through it all, but nobody is reading every line of that thing.
They also do the annoying thing where it's just a mouse cursor menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bugs me.
I hate it so much. It's so lazy.
So I was so angry that I couldn't access this campaign. I didn't do what you did and just turn it off and go watch something and then come back to it. I uninstalled it. For
the record, that shouldn't have worked. Right? That's not
shouldn't, yeah.
That's not how problems are supposed to be solved on an Xbox.
Right.
Yeah, it was bizarre. And I don't... Did it happen to you, Scott? Was the cursor dragging at all?
I don't think so, but I didn't use it. I didn't use it that much, so
it was dragging to the right somewhat hard. But then in the game it wouldn't. And then I booted up a different game, and it wasn't my controller. It was just in the menus for Crossfire. It kept pushing my cursor to the right. I had to fight against it. It was just bizarre.
CrossfireX.
Apologies, CrossfireX.
So did you play the multiplayer or did you play the campaign?
I played CrossfireX, so you didn't have to.
Thank you.
It sucks.
Did I dodge a bullet?
I played both. The multiplayer is it's one of the worst games I've ever played.
Wow.
It's terrible. It's rotten to the core. It does not feel finished. Not even in the fun kind of modern way where the majority of games launch unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like it needs another 2 years.
Wow.
So I don't know if there are iron sights in multiplayer. The left trigger it goes unused, but when you press it, it doesn't pull up iron sights. Which is weird because in the campaign it sure does.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
No iron sights in multiplayer seems so off in modern games.
Right, that would have felt outdated in 2008, you know?
Like, what is this, GoldenEye?
It's there'll be some GoldenEye references later.
Oh.
And it's just, boy. So the multiplayer, yeah, no iron sights. The maps there was like super tiny map that I was playing on for Team Deathmatch. I played it twice. They're both just minuscule. Yeah, no iron sights. So when you shoot somebody, it doesn't even look like they're getting hit at all. Like they just kind of drop suddenly. It's very strange.
Like they just kind of collapse prone.
Yeah, like it almost looks like a glitch. Like they just like there's no like animation of them dropping. They just drop.
Just like they're all of a sudden they're standing and all of a sudden they're on the floor.
Yeah, it looks like a JavaScript phone game.
Wow,
it's not good, and yeah, so that's terrible. And the frame rate was atrocious. I'm talking like I don't. You know I don't care about frame rate. I've talked about how I cannot tell the difference between 60 and 30, but I can sure tell when it is just like skipping animation frames. It is terrible, and it happened multiple times. And the worst thing is you could just straight up spawn camp. If you just shoot your way through the other enemy or whatever, they only spawn in this one area, and it doesn't restrict you from going in there. So you can just push into the enemy base and then just keep firing, and you'll just keep killing them as they spawn.
Oh, it sounds like I need to play this game, then I'd be good at this one.
As long as you can push through or whatever.
Yeah, just get over there and then...
They solve spawn camping, like in Halo, the first console shooter of this type.
Right.
This is not an issue games should be facing.
Right.
It's borderline unplayable, man.
So what's the appeal then? Because this thing... Like was advertised as like, this PC game finally coming to consoles and blah, blah, blah. So...
Hey, maybe it's immaculate on PC. I don't know.
Maybe.
But this Xbox version is junk.
I think it's pretty popular in another country. I can't remember. It's Korea?
I was going to say Korea.
I think it's big in Korea.
I think it's really popular over there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to catch on here on the Xbox. You just can't launch a broken multiplayer like that. Like, this is egregious.
See, part of me now just has to go try it just to see what you're talking about.
See how broken it is.
I specifically, when Scott and I were talking about it earlier, I specifically texted him, like, you have got to play it to see what this is.
And I would have if I had time. I got home literally 30 minutes before we sat down to record, so there's no way I was going to be able to re-download it and even play one match by the time we recorded. I wish... It's hard to articulate. Like, I've never played anything that just felt so bad immediately. Wow. It's the other end of the spectrum of a respawn shooter. Just immediately felt terrible. It's crazy. But I did boot up the campaign. It's not much better, guys. It is better. But first of all, I struggled to care about I played it just, an hour before we recorded the show. I couldn't tell you a single character's name. I cannot remember already. Forgettable. I played it for a little over an hour, but it has the trappings. It has like this, so it has a character narration. It has bullet time. It has weird dream sequences. It has the skeleton of a Remedy game, but it does not have the heart of one. Wow. It does not. It feels like somebody was trying to imitate the Remedy house style. In terms of that. So. It feels like somebody else made it and said that they were Remedy? Yeah, like Remedy put their C team on this for sure. The interns got to make this one. Oh, wow. Kind of
like those memes where it's like the kid asked their mom, "Can we have McDonald's?" And the mom's like, "We have McDonald's at home."
And the McDonald's at home is like frozen nuggets or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's very, very accurate. You're absolutely correct. It is atrocious. I will say one cool thing it has is the way the bullet time works. It looks very cool. Where so you engage the bullet time, everything slows down or whatever, but when you fire or reload, it goes into like hyper fast time. So like it almost like it's in super slow mo, and then you pull the trigger and it like accelerates to sonic speed real quick, and then the guy dies and it zips back to super slow mo, almost like Zack Snyder with 300. Oh, okay. Remember how those fight scenes kind of looked? It's pretty cool look. It's a shame you're using it on the worst enemy AI I've seen since GoldenEye. It is terrible. Like, actually, they're worse than GoldenEye, because GoldenEye, they'll at least pursue you to that closet room, These guys, if you see an enemy move, it's a minor miracle. Most enemies just stand there in the open firing at you and don't move or pursue or react when you shoot them or anything. It doesn't make any sense.
Bizarre.
You were like in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where you had like the training mission right at the top. You go through like all the dummy shooting ranges to see what difficulty you play on.
Mm-hmm.
Those dummies are harder to hit than these enemies.
Wow.
It's really bad. And final quick note, so it launches you into an entirely separate game client for the campaign, which is annoying but not totally unheard of, but they don't share any interface or options or anything. Your multiplayer options do not save for the campaign or anything.
So they're not talking to each other whatsoever.
No, it's a completely different thing. Like if you invert your controls, you're going to have to re-invert them. And there are some audio options in the campaign that are not in the multiplayer. They're not even related at all. It's a small mercy. Apparently, the campaign's only like 3 hours or so each.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I guess if you want to pay $10 for a 3-hour shooter, but it's so bad. And then also in the campaign, and I know I'm just really ragging on this thing, but it's really bad. So it does the Call of Duty thing where you have to like follow a character, and then you have to wait for them to do something before you can like open a door, right?
Right.
Which is like a stealth way for those Call of Duty games to load and stuff.
Right.
But the campaign in the hour didn't have any cool set pieces to warrant such a method of movement. Mm-hmm. And also they move so slow. Yeah. Your character can zip around lightning fast, and you have like this like slide, not unlike Titanfall or an Apex Legends, where like a super long slide. So you're moving around really fast, which is also weird because the maps are mostly interior and don't warrant that kind of control at all. But the people are like still walking around stealthy, even if there are no enemies. And it's like broad daylight. They're just like walking around at a nice leisurely pace. So you're just standing there at the door, just scrolling Twitter while you wait for this guy to come find the door.
That's so sad. The crazy thing is I watched the trailer for this, which is in the show notes if anybody wants to see it. The trailer looks like super cinematic and expensive.
Yeah, I mean, there was a cool shot at the beginning where a helicopter crashed through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that happened in a cutscene.
No, I know. It's just, I mean, I guess now we know why this wasn't, like, we didn't see this trailer, or at least I didn't see this trailer leading up to this. Like, they didn't want to market it because it wasn't going to do a whole lot, I guess.
Yeah, I can't, it would be, if I were Phil Spencer and I locked down a Remedy exclusive campaign and this is what I got, I'd be like, I don't know if we need to work with Remedy ever again. This feels like a direct insult.
They better let us have control for free now, is what he's thinking.
Let us get Alan Wake 2, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good time, guys. I don't know. I could not recommend CrossfireX to anybody. Even if... And it boggles the mind that in today's free-to-play landscape that you would release something so fundamentally broken.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much competition. You have Halo on the same console. It's insane.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, the only positive I could say is that, hey, it's $10 for your campaign, but I don't know why you would play past the first freebie they give you anyway.
Right. It's so weird to me. So it sounds like you don't recommend it.
No, I would. I would recommend you do anything else with your time.
He recommends all our listeners to not check it out, but he encouraged me to play it.
Yeah, tell you. Okay, so there you go. That's a great. If you have Game Pass, play one match. Mm-hmm. Play Team Deathmatch, and just experience the beauty of this colossal disaster.
Oh, the beauty.
Oh.
Man,
it's like watching a beautiful murder happen on your screen.
Thanks for taking the bullet for me, man, because I wasn't really looking forward to playing it anyway, but it sounds like I wouldn't have enjoyed it even a little bit. So yeah. All right, well, I got a couple other reviews I want to talk about very quickly. I sat down with Relle to talk about a really cool sounding JRPG called Rise of the Third Power, and then Kevin stopped by to talk about an RTS game called Warno. We're going to play those for you right now. Well, hello there, Relle. How you doing, man?
I'm just getting over them COVID blues.
Oh my goodness. You and practically everybody else I know. I feel like I'm running out of friends that have not gotten COVID at this point.
If you haven't gotten it, then you're not welcome at the club meetings.
Yeah, right? Well, I'm not welcome then. I'm apparently immune. I don't know what I did, but it is good to talk to you, man, and I am really excited to talk to you about this game that you're reviewing for us, mostly because I am, for the first time since you and I started doing reviews together, I am insanely jealous that you got to review this game and I didn't. And I could have taken it, but I just did not have the time to put into it that this game deserved. I want to play this game so bad. I think I'm going to have to buy it even though I can't review it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The game is called Rise of the Third Power. It comes from developer Stegosoft Games and was provided to us by Danjin Entertainment. And why don't you tell everybody what this game is, or actually just answer this question. Is it as good as it looks?
It really is.
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
I mean, spoilers, yes, this is a good game and you should buy it. It is $20 American and it is worth that for sure.
All right.
The premise of the game is the world has just gotten over fantasy World War I, and there's a political marriage happening, and princess of one country is marrying prince of, that would have been an interesting twist. Prince of the aggressor country that was, instigating the war, but now they're suing for peace and blah blah blah. You start out the game playing as a couple of mercenaries who have been hired to kidnap the princess in order to stop the marriage and hopefully prevent a renewal of the war.
Oh, wow. So that sounds a little Romeo and Juliet meets Princess Bride.
Sort of, but not really, because it's an arranged marriage, and, the princess herself is not really into it, and then she becomes a party member, and the prince is a brief antagonist, and so on and so forth.
Gotcha. I think I want to clarify, though, just because people have no idea what we're talking about, because they may not have seen the trailer, but on the surface, this game looks like an old school Final Fantasy 3/6, pixel art JRPG.
In terms of the art, yes, because it's very much sprite based, and I wouldn't really necessarily compare it to Final Fantasy 3/6, just because it's more 32-bit, almost like if the PlayStation Classic had produced a 2D RPG instead of all the 3D stuff that it did.
Sure.
And it is sweet. The animations are just sick. I mean, the first time you use, what's her name? Karina's special moves, it's just like, mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, even
so
just
good.
watching the trailer, there's like a pixelated sunset, like overview look or whatever, that just looks gorgeous for pixel art. It just,
yeah. They put some serious effort into this.
But then you go and you see some of the dialogue, and the dialogue, the characters there aren't pixelated. It almost looks like an anime style.
Right. That was honestly a little jarring for me at first, just because the art style for the portraits was more like bright anime versus, I don't want to say gritty, but just kind of more crunchy style of the sprites and whatnot. But you get used to it pretty quick, and overall I like the art.
Very cool. So what else happens with the story? You start as these mercenaries. How good does it get?
Well, it's kind of a mixed bag. The overall story is really good. I really loved most of the characters. There were two main qualms I had about this game. The first was that in the first half, at least, there's a lot of comedic moments. There's a lot of really good, goofy humor, some meta humor. One particular instance that actually made me laugh out loud, which is the first time a game has done this to me for a while, was when you're traversing some ghost-infested mine, and you get to a minecart, and you get, you try to push it, and the dialogue options, or the main character says, should I get in this and ride it? And the dialogue options are, sure. Yeah, of course. Do it, wimp. And then no. And so, yeah, it's just... And then when you find the thing that actually makes it move. The dialogue options change, and it's just like, do I want to get in this thing? Yes. No. And it's just it's so good. However, once Act 2 starts, and there's a very clear delineation between the first and second act, it gets dead serious real fast. And
okay, you don't like that?
Well, it was a pretty sharp change in tone, and because the comedy in the first half was done so well, I missed it.
Okay.
But like I said, the overall story was good, and the only other issue I had with the game was the main character, a guy by the name of Rowan, who's an ex-pirate. And my main issue with him is that he is a massive a-hole.
Okay.
Like, he actively makes certain social encounters go worse because he is an a-hole, when all he has to do is follow simple instructions, and he just, flips everyone the bird because he doesn't like people. And
that's kind of cool, though, because I feel like in most JRPGs, the main character is just like, little boy that wants to please everybody and make the right decisions.
Yeah, but there's a medium ground between that and directly antagonizing people because they make a simple request. Like, obviously, you can't go into a secure area with all your weapons and gear, and so, of course, the obvious request is, can you please surrender your weapons to us while you're there? And his response is, again, flipping the bird.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is kind of needless because I know that we're going to do this anyway, so why are you making this worse? And he does certain things and makes certain very serious errors that make me dislike him as a character and make me wonder why the other party members keep him around, because
gotcha, okay.
By the time he really lost me, I kind of realized that while he'd been part of the group from the beginning, he didn't have any strong ties to any individual character. Like, no love interest, for example, no, like, family members among the party members. And so at that point of the game, I was wondering, why are you still here? You're
right.
making things worse. Why? And
okay.
It just felt from the dialogue that he was still there because he was the main character and he had to keep going along for the ride.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not going to say what ends up happening in the end, obviously. But yeah, he lost my sympathy before the end, let's just say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm intrigued by the story, just the setup alone, and it makes me want to play it, that coupled with the art style. But talk to me about what everybody wants to hear, which is the combat. How's the combat work? Because I got some very Octopath Traveler vibes when I saw it.
Yeah, did Octopath Traveler have the... So, okay. It's very much Final Fantasy X or Trails in the Sky, and I guess Octopath as well. I can't remember if they... No, because Octopath had your characters acted, and then the enemy acted, and then it went back to choices. This is more like Final Fantasy X or Trails in the Sky, where you see whose turn is coming up, either yours or the enemy's. And so there's a little bit of turn manipulation there. Karina the Thief has a sleep powder ability that is actually like 100% reliable. So it's status effects are actually useful in this game. It's really nice.
Right.
And so she's able to kind of control the battlefield as well as deal a ton of damage. So there's that. But it's just turn-based, and you can swap out party members, although you're limited to with like 3 per battle. You can swap 3 times per battle, and then you're just done. You're set. It's really good. I think it really opens up once you get your 4th party member, obviously, like with most RPGs. Because then you can just swap characters in and out and actually like customize your the party that you're fielding for battle. But I really enjoyed it, and the fact that all the enemies are visible on screen and you can avoid them if you want, or you can grind if you want, is really, really nice.
So this game looks like it has the potential to be the sleeper hit of the early 2022 year. it sounds like you're going to recommend it, even though you have some slight qualms. Am I in the ballpark there with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the overall game is absolutely fantastic. Even though I don't like Rowan as a character, he either needed to be more sympathetic or less of an a-hole. But again, the story on the whole, the game on the whole, the graphics, the music slaps. Just straight up. The first time you hear the boss music, is just chef's kiss again. Yeah, this is absolutely recommended. If this does not see serious sales, it will be a sleeper hit, and because it deserves those serious sales, right alongside Smelter, a game I reviewed. God, what was it? Last year? 2 years ago?
It was last year, yeah.
Yeah, geez.
And this is on Switch, correct?
Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, all the major PC game distributors like Steam, GOG, Humble Bundle, etc. And that's for $20 American.
That just seems like a steal. How many hours did it take you to finish?
About 25, and it was pretty exhaustive. I think if you rush the story, you could probably do it in 20. But at one point, the game does open up where you can freely explore the world, and so I just went around doing side quests.
Does it ever get grindy like Octopath did?
If you go on higher difficulty levels, probably. But they make it pretty clear that on normal difficulty, you can clear most challenges without grinding. But on hard difficulty, they do warn you will probably have to grind at least a little bit. And then on the even harder difficulty, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, right. Well, it sounds like a game that I have to play. I don't know if you've listened to our New Year's resolutions episode, but one of my resolutions for the year was for every game that I reviewed, I needed to play one game for myself as well. And I may have to add this one to it because it just looks so good in a classic JRPG way, but also with modern sensibilities. That and the art style just looks amazing, and I can't wait to hear the boss battle music. So you have sold me. I mean, the trailer sold me. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But you sold me even more. So Rise of the Third Power, pretty good recommendation from you. Yes.
Very much so. Yes.
All right. And you can read Relle's review on our website, thegamingoutsider.com. He actually put together a full written review, and I'm looking forward to checking it out, man. Thanks so much for stopping by to talk about this game. I hope people will check it out, and I'm saying that as a guy that hasn't even played it yet.
Well, I hope everybody out there buys it as well, because this developer deserves some love.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, man. Good talking with you as always. We'll catch you later, all right?
Later.
Well, hello there again, Kevin. How you doing, man?
I am doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing quite well. I'm interested to hear about Warno, which is a game that you've been reviewing for us from Eugen Systems, that's the developer, and was provided to us by Renaissance PR, so thanks to those people for hooking us up. The trailer for this was interesting. I kind of was intrigued by it because it looked like it was a news report from like the 80s, like Cold War era, kind of, but I was not really clear what kind of game this is. So can you kind of give me some idea of what's going on here?
Yeah, I feel you when you say you didn't know what it was, because it just from the trailer itself, I was very intrigued for the same reasons, and because I wanted to just see what it was more than anything based on what they'd shown. It's a straight up RTS.
Okay.
It is set back in that era. It's just straight up combat between the Soviets basically and the Alliance. Yeah, it's done very well, but the trailer was very misleading because they showed a bunch of close action sequences and everything, and vehicles moving at close up range and all that fun jazz, and you can definitely do that. You can zoom in to what these guys are doing when you're playing, but realistically, to play that way is not functional. It's just because you won't be able to see anything else that's going on. Which in this kind of game, like this is a very in-depth RTS game.
Okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It is a good thing.
Okay,
it's a very good thing. It's a lot of fun, and I do need to clarify that the copy that we got to review this for it's very, very, very early access.
Okay,
so there are numerous aspects that I didn't even get to inspect. Basically, you could play some multiplayer games, or you could play what's called scrimmages. There is, like when you go to the menu, there is a spot for a campaign. And for solo missions and some different stuff, but none of those are available as of right now.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that's going to be about when the game is finally complete.
Gotcha.
But for the little bit that I did get to play, this was a very fun, very, very deep, intriguing RTS. If you're not familiar with RTS games at all, this is not a good spot to jump in.
Okay.
Basically because, and they kind of gave you a heads up when they sent this to us, is that as of right now, there's no like tutorial. It's basically jump in there, learn as you go. And that's why I say like, and with as deep as it is, with the different resources and all that fun stuff that you have to play with, and the way you go about actually winning the matches, it's not a good spot to jump in right now. Like I said, if you're not pretty experienced with these kind of games, but if you are into these kind of games and you've played them for a while, this is actually a really cool little gig. I can't wait to see what they do when they're done.
Okay, what makes it so special or sets it apart from other RTSs?
It's just the setting for one. I mean, the setting is very accurate to that time. That they have very specific equipment used by the militaries of that age. Like they have the M1 Abrams battle tank, they have the A-10 Thunderbolt anti-tank aircraft, they have F-15s, F-16s that you can purchase and send into battle, and the gameplay itself. Like I said, it took me a little bit to figure out how to go about doing this, but you have to go capture each of these zones basically, and you have to have certain units that can do it, called command units or commander units. Which are any of numerous different types of things like what I just listed, but they're certain ones are commanders and regular ones are not. But you build your own battle groups with numerous different classes, like logistics, infantry, artillery, anti-aircraft equipment. And each one of those has different levels that you can purchase at, and each one costs a certain amount of points, and you only have a certain amount of points. Like if anyone is familiar with like the Warhammer games, you have a certain amount of points to spend on your army. This is the exact same thing there, just in video game format. You have 1,500 points as like the basic, so the amount of units you purchase can add up to 1,500 points or less. It won't let you go over. And then it's you and the multiplayer, and you can do it solo as well with artificial intelligence, but you can play on teams, like 4 players on one side and 4 players on another side on this grand scale landscape. Again, from that era, so there's cities, there's buildings that you have to make your way around or blow through. It's just a really cool little gig from what they have right now.
That sounds really interesting, especially being the 80s era, because I feel like most RTS games are usually either fantasy focused or World War II or World War I focused. To see that in this era is kind of cool. Now, with my limited experience with RTSs, I'm used to things like resource gathering. It sounds like with this one, there's not any resources. It's just this point system that they've got. Yeah,
not that I can see so far. Again, like I said, this is very, very early access, so there might be different ones available or different game types available as they go. But right now, it's literally you just take over. It's a King of the Hill type scenario. You take over spots, and whoever the first one to, I think it was 2,000 points, and you get a certain amount of points per minute, I guess.
I was going to be my next question: is how do you replenish? So it becomes a time strategy.
Yes, you get a certain amount of points based on what you have acquired on the battlefield. The more you acquire, the more points you get, and you get that set amount of points at the end of 59 or 60 seconds.
Gotcha. So it sounds like I know this is very early, like you said, but it sounds like you're intrigued by it. You recommend people keeping an eye out for it?
Very much so. Like I said, if you're new to the RTS things, though, just hold off until it's done, or until they at least put a tutorial in, because it was quite hard to figure out.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Well, Kevin, thank you so much again, as always, for stopping by. It's a pleasure talking with you, and I appreciate you taking the time to check out Warno.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity again.
Not a problem. We'll talk to you next time.
Take it easy.
Thank you, Relle and Kevin. It was awesome to talk with you guys again. Let's go ahead and move on. I want to remind everybody about our social media outlets. If you'd like to follow us on the internets. Yes, I said internets. Don't hate me. First off, facebook.com/groups/thegocast. We've got a couple new members over there, Taylor Aaron and Jared Guernsey. Welcome to the community. Also, our Discord is still live and thriving if you'd like to check it out. The link for that is in the show notes of this episode. We'd also like to ask that you drop us a review if you get a chance. If you're listening to this and like what you hear, head over to wherever you listen, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, wherever, and drop us a review. It helps us get the word out there about what we're doing. And lastly, our website is thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all of our episodes there and all of our written content as well, including a written review for a game called Action Arcade Wrestling that Chris Owens did for us. You can read more about Rise of the Third Power, as Relle's written review is on there as well. Plus, we've been working on some editorials and that kind of thing too, so you can check it out at thegamingoutsider.com. But let's go ahead and jump into our topic this week, our From the Outside In topic. All right, the big news this past week was Nintendo's February Direct, which had quite a few big announcements and surprises. We decided to take another deep dive on the event, share our thoughts on what we saw, and see what the listeners thought as well. So, how do you want to do this, Zach? I know this is kind of your idea. Do you want me to just read through everything that was announced, or do you want to react as we go through? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, I feel like we react as we go by line item would make more sense to me. Alyssa, does it sound right to you?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so I'll read through here. If something that you guys want to comment on, just shout it out, and then afterwards we'll see what the community thought about it as well. First off, No Man's Sky is coming to Switch. I should be free at this point, right? No,
They should be apologizing when they announce it.
I'm not as angry as you are, but yeah.
You know what? I will. I'm going to give Sean Murray a little bit of his flowers here. Did you hear about this autistic kid who loves Joe Danger? And he played it on his parents' phone, and he loves Joe Danger so much, like that's his fixation, right?
Right.
And it like so much that he like calls his Hot Wheels cars and stuff like his little Joe Dangers.
Okay.
But when iOS updated its operating system, Joe Danger became unplayable, and they patched it to work on modern phones just for this one kit.
Wow.
So you know what? We're even, Sean. If you're listening,
all right,
we're even now.
I mean, I can imagine how that affected him because I'm autistic myself. So,
I mean,
having your fixation taken away or your routine messed up is majorly it just messes with you. So for them to do that for this little boy, that's so sweet.
Yeah, I think that was a genuinely beautiful move from Hello Games.
Yeah.
Good for them. So you know what? All's forgiven. Well, not forgiven, but it's forgot.
I still am not going to play it.
Yeah, same.
I know that's going to make a lot of people angry because people keep trying to talk me into playing it. I'm like, I tried it. I understand they fixed it. It's just not my kind of game. I just can't get into it.
I want the first trailer.
You're right.
I want that game. That game looked cool.
Yeah. Another game that I wish I could get into, Advance Wars 1+2, has been detailed with an April release date. I don't know I can't remember if you got into that one or not, Zach.
I remember playing it on GBA, but I don't really have like nostalgia for it. Alyssa, did you do any of the Advance Warsing?
I've never played any of those games, no.
I'm just not good at that kind of strategy for some reason. I cannot wrap my head around how to be good at it.
Yeah, this does the Nintendo effect where they make it easy. You know, they like simplify a complex concept. It's not Fire Emblem, you know. That's the tough one.
Yeah,
maybe. I love Fire Emblem. I just have never played Advance Wars.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3 releases this summer and includes a new Salmon Run co-op mode. For all of you Splatoon fans, I still never even touched Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2 was awesome.
I actually enjoy it, and you guys know how I feel about multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy the multiplayer on Splatoon.
Splatoon 2 was a weird situation where I played only the multiplayer. I never actually played the campaign.
Wow.
Same here. I never played the campaign, but I played the multiplayer.
Yeah, and I heard the campaign was great. It was just every time I had time for Splatoon, I wanted to play the multiplayer because it's so fun. It's nice that combat's not the focus, you know? Painting the world is. It's really nice. I don't know. It's weird for a multiplayer shooter to feel kind of relaxing.
I was gonna say it's very almost therapeutic in a way.
Yeah,
just playing it.
That little hip hop style the game's got is super cool as well. Yeah, I like Splatoon.
Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Houses was announced. That was a pretty big surprise for a lot of people. Kirby and the Forgotten Land has a new mouthful mode.
They had to know what they were doing, right?
Yeah.
That's
more than a mouthful mode.
That's a sus
like where we all
game mode.
But regardless, the more I see that trailer, the more I have to play this game.
It looks very good.
It just looks like stupid fun. Like just it.
Have they talked about amiibo support for this game yet?
If they have, I have not seen it.
Okay, it just feels like it'd be wide open to play as a Link Kirby, play as a Shovel Knight Kirby, etc.
Looks great.
Cloud.
It just looks so cute and vibrant, and it just still has like fun, just clever little 3D platformer stuff that
Who knew the world needed a post-apocalyptic Kirby game?
Right.
On the topic of Kirby, did you know they have a Kirby manga? Just a little sidestep.
No.
There's 3 volumes out.
It's running currently?
Mm-hmm.
Does he speak?
Yes, he does.
No, wow. I know they have a Splatoon manga. I had no idea they had a Kirby one.
And they are actually gorgeous covers. I know this is stepping away from the topic.
This is very exciting.
I just had to mention it.
To learn. No, I kind of want to read the Kirby manga now. The Zelda mangas are great.
I have them. I've not read them.
That's weird.
Yeah, I've never read them either.
They're good.
Yeah? Got to read them right to left, right?
Yes.
If you can overcome that mental fortitude, I guess.
It will take me a minute. I've never done it, so. Disney Speedstorm. It's a free-to-play racing game sim with Disney and Pixar characters. Because why not?
Sure.
Portal and Portal 2 coming to Switch.
That's cool.
That was a surprise.
Yeah. Which is a perfect fit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because Portal's just a good game to play in little chunks, or if you want to downplay it.
Well, plus that co-op mode on Portal 2, if it works with Nintendo Online, that is some of the most clever puzzles. It's so good.
I've never played the co-op.
Dude, I haven't either.
I would play through it again if you wanted to. Do you still have it?
Do I own the PS3 version? Or?
Oh, I have it on 360.
Yeah, well, it's coming to Switch.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy it again.
Well, maybe me and Alyssa will play it then. Screw you.
There you go.
Who needs you?
Those puzzles in Portal 2 with a co-op, because the game is super clever anyway, but when you've got 4 portals to play with instead of 2, that is a game changer.
That first Portal was very good.
You didn't like the second one?
No, the second one's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like it as much, that's all.
Same here. I like the first one. I like 2, but the first one has a very special place in my heart.
I think we're in a small group of people, Alyssa. But I agree.
I just love the charm of the second one, and the humor was funnier.
I like Gladys's potato. That's pretty great.
I'm a potato.
It's good.
How are you doing? It's good. Man, the moon. That was a moment I was like, no way.
Yeah. Well, that was very cool. Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Metroid Dread is getting a one-hit kill mode and a rookie mode. I don't even know I don't even played it yet. A one-hit kill mode on Metroid? No, thank you.
On any Metroid, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
I noticed did you intentionally skip over Nintendo Switch Sports? Is that a personal vendetta you have against it?
No. I just we'll come back to it, but
okay.
There's also.
I think Metroid Dread, that's super cool. Easier modes and a harder mode. They just announced a Sifu said they're inspired by this. They're going to do the same thing where they make an incredibly difficult mode and a super easy mode.
Nice.
I think that's great.
I know. I was talking to Joel Selinsky, one of our listeners that I play Borderlands with on Friday nights. He picked up Metroid Dread and was about ready to rage quit.
Oh yeah.
And this news came out, and I texted him immediately and said, "Hope you didn't sell your copy yet, because there's an easy mode." And he jumped for joy, but then said that they don't let you switch modes in the middle of a game.
Aww.
So he would have to actually start over.
Maybe it'll go by so fast because he knows what he's doing, and it'll be easier.
Well, and he was only at like the first bigger boss, so he didn't get too incredibly far.
I do really need to play Metroid Dread.
You really need to play Metroid Dread.
It's the only 2D Metroid I haven't played.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Okay.
Yes, I accidentally skipped over Nintendo Switch Sports, which this shocked me because this felt like something that would have been a natural thing to do at the launch of the Switch instead of 1-2 Switch. So they're waiting until like 5 years into the cycle to bring back a Nintendo Switch Sports, and I have to have it.
Didn't they claim that we're only halfway through the Switch cycle?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 5 years.
Right. So they're refreshing it. Yeah, I don't care about this at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm all about this. This is going to be great for my classroom.
Okay, I can see that. Just for me, the excitement of Wii Sports was that it was free.
Yeah,
if I had to pay $50 for Wii Sports, I would not do that.
Well, the nice thing is if you purchase it digitally, it's only $40. If you purchase the physical version of it, it's $60 because it comes with those straps or some peripheral that you have to have for something. But if you just want to play bowling like I do, this is going to be perfect.
That sounds really suspicious.
That's what I read.
I see a lot of Joy-Cons being thrown at the screen.
Right.
Not in my classroom. They will be wearing straps.
But yeah, anyway, bowling's definitely the premier Wii Sports title.
Oh man, it's so much fun. I there's even like bonus modes and stuff where like in the original there was like ones where you had like 100 pins.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that was super fun. You can't do that in real life, you know?
No, you can't convince a bowling alley to do that probably.
No, there's not a bowling alley wide enough to do that either. So, oh man, to build one though, could you imagine?
Right, yeah, maybe Jeff Bezos has one. I don't know.
Maybe Jeff Bezos has one. But there's other sports in there too. They brought badminton for some reason, which was I think it was just an excuse for Nintendo to say shuttlecock on a Nintendo Direct.
Between shuttlecock and mouthful, they're getting really horny on these directs.
I know, right? Oh, Kirby's got a mouthful of shuttlecock. I just want to hear that in one sentence from hear Reggie come back and say that.
Become a professional badminton player in Kirby and the Forgotten Kingdom as he takes a mouthful of shuttlecock.
We're really going full Howard Stern here.
Play with your family, March 25th.
Oh my God. I really hope none of my students are listening to this episode. Good Lord. Moving on.
Nothing dirty. That's all about sports and Kirby, man. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
It's all Nintendo products we're talking about.
Right.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting 48 remastered tracks, which was funny watching people complain about this on Twitter because, nothing like maybe we'll get an announcement for Mario Kart 9. No, we're just going to give you updated tracks to a however old game. How old is the Wii U version of Mario Kart 8?
Oh boy, it was a 2014?
So we're getting like an 8-year-old game.
Yeah.
Closing in on a decade, and we're still getting DLC. I'm not complaining.
No, I actually think this is pretty smart.
As well, especially since you can get those tracks for free if you are a Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass member, which...
definitely not free, but included in your subscription.
Well, right. It's free for members.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's not free. It's included in your membership.
It's free for members.
No, it's not. Because being a member is not free.
I know. I didn't say it was free to be a member. I said it was free for members, which have to pay a subscription fee.
Anyway.
We are arguing semantics on a podcast.
Anyway,
this is amazing.
48 remastered tracks. How many tracks are in the base game?
Oh, boy. My kids were playing it today. So there's like 9 times 4. So I want to say like 36.
So we're getting as many or more tracks via DLC than there were originally in the game?
I have to go double check and see if that's actually how many tracks there are, but that's incredible.
Yeah, no, I think this is really smart. I understand. I never really understood the Mario Kart 9 rumors where it's like it'll be all the Nintendo characters because Mario Kart 8 has a bunch of other Nintendo characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really understood that. But I actually think with the popularity of Mario Kart 8, like everybody I know that has a Switch has Mario Kart. I have it, and I don't even really like it.
It's still selling.
Yeah.
Like, it's still selling like crazy.
There's absolutely no reason to do a Mario Kart 9, especially not on the Switch. You save Mario Kart 9 for whatever's next, right?
Right.
You just, in the next trailer, you just tip the 8 over on its side, and now it's Mario Kart Infinite.
Oh, look at you.
And now you just have brilliant marketing right there.
Oh, man. That actually is brilliant.
But
I was talking to, or not talking, but I saw that Amber in our Discord community said that because she used to work at GameStop, and she said that with every Switch she sold, there was almost always a copy of Mario Kart purchased at the same time.
No doubt.
Not necessarily a bundle. Obviously, there were some bundles, But it was hardly ever did she sell a Nintendo Switch console without selling a copy of Mario Kart 8 as well.
I've never met anybody with a Switch without Mario Kart.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, it's just, I'll get this just in case people come over.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I had it. That and students in the classroom.
I kind of hate Mario Kart 8 because when it came out, me, my roommates, and girlfriend at the time, everybody just wanted to play Mario Kart all the time. So now I don't ever want to play Mario Kart again.
Yeah.
But with the remastered tracks, I think I'll jump back in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will not play online because those Japanese kids destroy me.
Yeah. It's insane, isn't
it? Doesn't even make sense because Mario Kart's not a game of skill, or so I was led to believe.
Right.
You play with Japanese kids, all of a sudden you learn, no, there's some skill.
Yeah, I can drift, but not like those kids. It's like they're coming out the gate drifting.
it's they come out of the womb drifting in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
This makes sense because when you're in last place, you're supposed to get a bullet bill or something. You're supposed to get, you're supposed to jump to the front of the line. Not when you're playing with those kids.
Yeah. Those bullet bills and blue shells do nothing.
No, they just make you look weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you have
I'll play online with you.
But I think slowly releasing 48 tracks over the course of 2 years is it's a brilliant way to get people in the expansion pass.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, what is it, $25 on its own for just the first season pass of the DLC.
Right.
So at that point, if you could split it between mom and dad or a couple people on the online, you get people in there. I think it's really,
you can split it between 8 people. So $10 a year if you find 7 other people.
So it's just smart. This thing
really is smart.
And yeah, because then you get also the N64 games, because the kid wants the Mario Kart tracks, dad wants to live nostalgically. Why not get both right there?
Exactly.
I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Plus, there's a lot of Nintendo fans like me that did not have both the Nintendo and Genesis growing up. I've not played a lot of those Genesis games, so I could dive in those and be playing them for the first time.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Man, I gotta get on that Switch Online. I should probably play that Earthbound game. I've heard so much about.
You've never played it?
No, I've played first 30 minutes on an emulator, and then I felt bad that I was emulating it.
Oh, well, now you can play it legitimately.
Right.
Just know that it's the quirkiest JRPG I've ever played.
Right, that's what I hear.
But it's just so charming and silly in a way that knows it's silly. I can't help but love it. But it's also like a hardcore JRPG. It's not easy.
No.
I died in the first area just because I
know the final dungeon is in the shape of a womb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An alien abortion or something.
It's actually somewhat story related.
Yeah.
It's a little dark, and they do something interesting with the final boss too. You have to.
We'll talk about it later, but yeah, we should just talk about Earthbound now.
Why should we? Yeah, why not? Yeah. Earthbound SNES was announced on the Nintendo Switch Online, as was Earthbound Beginnings, which is a regular NES game.
That's Mother 1, yes.
I don't know. I was hoping you knew because I think we were all expecting Mother 3 to be ported.
Okay, yeah. First of all, right at the top, man, this was a huge Mother 3 bait and switch There's when you do the Earthbound, it was one thing. You're like, oh, okay, and then but then also Earthbound Beginnings from the NES is coming. You're like, oh my god, they're finally gonna do it. Yeah. Holy crap! What the best way to get expansion pass customers I've ever heard of. And then they're just like, yeah. Anyway, they're coming out, guys. Oh, I was mad. I don't even care about this franchise, and I was mad for people.
Yeah,
just if you're a Mother 3 enthusiast, my thoughts and prayers are with you after that. That had to be a rough day.
Yeah, but at least you can play those on Switch now, because that's one that people have been clamoring for quite a while. That and Super Mario RPG. Which
I kind of assumed Earthbound was on there, but obviously I'm wrong.
No.
But yeah, I think it's very cool, and they launched them right away. Obviously, I think I'll finally play it.
In fact, dude, if you wanted to play that, I would love to do a Break the Seal with you on that.
Okay, we don't.
I know it's a long one. We never played the second half of Final Fantasy VI, which we need to get around to at some point.
I'll figure out that.
But this one is a little bit. It's dense. It's not like a Paper Mario RPG. It's got a little bit more going on than that in terms of depth, but it's not like, I don't know, like a Fire Emblem or whatever, like you're talking about.
Right. Well, I kept wanting to do a JRPG show for Patreon, so it's kind of my backdoor way in.
I'm already into it. I can just kind of make that my thing I do at night instead of watching Peacemaker.
I thought you already said you were doing Earthbound.
I know.
Anyway,
I was just
Mother 2.
Moving on, Chrono Cross Remaster has been announced for Switch. This is another one that people have been clamoring for a while. It's weird to me that they're doing this before Chrono Trigger.
Well, so you don't have to remake Chrono Trigger, right? But you should at least port it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Or do one of those pixel remasters they've been doing. Yeah, it's really weird to do Chrono Cross without Chrono Trigger. Especially doubly weird because this is including Radical Dreamers, which is a Satellaview visual novel, which was never in English before.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing this like deep dive, getting this lost piece of history for this thing. So it's just bizarre you wouldn't be like, oh, and also Chrono Trigger's in the package.
Yeah.
Or released separately. Just very strange.
Or it's on the Switch Online.
Yeah. Very weird.
But I'm trying to remember. Chrono Trigger was not a Square Enix, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, Squaresoft.
Yeah.
Squaresoft.
Yeah.
So, but, and Super Mario RPG was also a Squaresoft game or Enix. I can't ever remember when the cutoffs are.
Yeah, I don't need them to be on Virtual Console. It's just, let me buy Chrono Trigger somewhere.
Right. I mean, it would sell like crazy.
Yeah, I want to do all the endings of Chrono Trigger, but I couldn't suffer anymore through the PS1 version I was playing on.
Or the DS version.
Oh yeah, I heard that has extra endings, right?
I didn't make it very far because it was just really the loading screens for a fight were just like really long.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I didn't know that. The PS1 was unbearable. It was like 40 to open your menu. It took a 30 to 45 second load.
Jeez,
it was unbelievable. It was like waiting for the guys at CrossfireX to open a door. But anyway, I think this is super exciting. I want to play this very badly.
I do too. It's one I never played.
Yeah,
I actually owned a copy. I owned a Greatest Hits copy back in the day, and I just never got around to playing it, which is weird. Apparently, the characters from Chrono Trigger do make an appearance.
Yeah, I think Magus is in there specifically.
Oh, really? I could have swore I saw Frog.
Well, I think Magus is a party member.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Who I think was a villain in Chrono Trigger.
No, he was a playable character.
Oh, that's right. You could recruit him via a specific set of actions.
Right.
Because you could also not get him. Chrono Trigger is very good.
It is good.
It's quite good.
I never got to play it, so I wish they would put it on the Switch or something as well.
They should.
Man, it's a very satisfying JRPG. Like when you get to do those combo moves, because your magic powers you can use individually, or you can use them in conjunction with another party member's magic, and they all do like these weird combo things that are just super fun.
And just seeing the Toriyama art style and pixel format is always great. But there was just something fun about having this party of people from across time. Because one of them is like a cave woman who can't speak with everybody else, so that's like a lot of fun.
Yep, one's like a robot from the future.
Yeah. Obviously, Frog's a fan favorite for sure.
Mm-hmm. From like medieval times, and yeah, it was very cool. I like that his name was just Frog.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm kind of getting nostalgic. I kind of want to play Chrono Trigger again.
Glenn. I was one of those that like named him Glenn at the beginning of the game.
No, I always leave their names whatever they are.
Yeah.
And good morning, Chrono.
Yeah. Wasn't that like the ad in the newspaper?
Well, when they ported to DS, it was the biggest balls advertising I've ever seen. It was just a black page, and it just said "Good morning, Chrono," and just had the release date for the DS version.
Amazing.
That's a baller friggin' ad, dude.
It is.
Anyway, Chrono Cross looks great. Can't wait to play it.
Not as baller as a QR code just bouncing across the screen in the middle of the Super Bowl for 45 seconds.
Yeah, luckily I have no idea what that is about, but I've heard about that.
Moving on, Klonoa. Those games are coming to Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I've not played those, but I saw on Twitter that you were very excited about that.
Yeah, Klonoa. Yeah, I have fond memories of renting Klonoa on PS1 when I was a child. I love Klonoa. He's a little, I don't know, it's a baseball hat. He's kind of a tough looking little dude. But I think it looks brilliant. I looked online for some like PS1 to the remake comparisons, and it just looks very beautiful. They're really nailing it. I'm very excited for Klonoa. Absolutely. Right. And just to clarify, Chrono Cross is also coming to PlayStation.
Oh, is it? Okay.
PC, yeah.
Switch, PlayStation, and PC, but that's it?
I can't remember if it's coming to Xbox or not. Square's so weird about Xbox.
I could have swore I read that it was Xbox, because I remember thinking that, at least I can play it on Xbox.
Right. It's funny how we have all the consoles, and yet we get, like, if it didn't come to PlayStation, we're like, maybe I won't play it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just, we're broken.
It is. That's going to be one of my editorials that I'm going to write this year. I am going to do at least one.
We'll see.
Is about how achievement points have actually ruined gaming for me in some respects. And that's one of them.
I agree, because I'm like, well, I could be getting trophies.
Yeah.
Whenever I play a Switch
we
game,
didn't care.
it's like, man, I could be getting trophies.
Yeah. This one was a huge surprise to me, and because I'm ignorant to this game, I assume you were familiar with it.
No, I had never heard of it either.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And how is it pronounced? Is it Live Alive or?
I heard in the trailer they said Live Alive, but that doesn't sound right to me.
No, it is Live Alive. It's just a Square Enix nonsense. Like it should be Automata, not Automata.
Mm-hmm.
They insist on you pronouncing things incorrectly, but it is Live Alive.
Live Alive.
Makes me feel weird inside.
I feel like live alive, or Live Alive. I think
when I first saw it, I thought Live Alive.
Yeah, that sounds the best to me. Anyway,
Anyway, it is a 90s Square Enix JRPG that has not been released in the West until this, and
was a commercial failure upon release.
So we can get this, but we can't get
Chrono Trigger. Well, you put it like that, it really does sound silly.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. This thing looks awesome.
It looks awesome, right?
Like, where has this game been all my life?
Oh, man. Yeah, and I love it. Just looks, rad, dude. Like, there's a modern day kid doing a martial arts tournament. There's a gunslinger JRPG happening.
Yeah, like in the Old West.
Yeah, it's these different characters have a story through times, and I guess they somehow connect for a 7th campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just these like 6 little short JRPG campaigns. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I am all over this thing.
Yeah, and it also feels like it's the clear inspiration for Octopath Traveler now that we know this game exists.
Right. I was just gonna say it kind of had that Octopath Traveler thing, but doing it in a way that we all kind of wanted Octopath Traveler to do it.
Right, the way that I wanted an Octopath. Yeah, absolutely. I know for me. Just the 2D HD just looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Do Chrono Trigger that. Just bring what is with Square Enix, by the way? Some games get a full remake, some games get just ports. Like Chrono Cross is mostly just a port. You get Live Alive is done in an entirely different art style. You remember, like, they just port stuff so weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
Or like there's the 3 Mana games have all been ported, but one was a direct port, one was a remaster, and one was a remake.
So we got 3 versions.
What's going on with their decision making? It's very bizarre.
It is bizarre.
But
you want to play it, Alyssa? I don't even know
definitely
if
want
you're
to.
JRPGs. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
She just talked about it earlier in the show.
Which one did you? She talked earlier
Maglam
this.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She said there was like a bunch of story.
I think Scott's high.
Huh?
I think you're high, man.
I do like JRPGs.
Okay.
I assume it's a premier category for her, I would think.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Anyway. Yeah, that's good.
No problem with me.
And then they closed.
So you're stoked for Live Alive? You think it looks rad?
I think it looks really cool, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it only coming to Switch, this one?
Oh, I don't know. I did not.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that.
I think this one might be a Switch exclusive, like the other 2D HD games were at first.
I'll be okay with that. I'll play it on Switch. I have to play it.
I would play this wherever it goes. This is the most exciting game of the show for me. It looks awesome.
It was cool. And then they close out the show with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which I don't think was that big of a surprise that it was coming, but it's there.
Well, it's cool that they said they're going to try to marry the 2 styles, because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is kind of a hard, dark story. It was also incredible, and then the second one was this like light JRPG kind of game, or not like light anime, sort of fluffy game with big old boobies. And I just remember because your weapons are hot anime girls with giant assets.
Oh.
I've never played these games, but this sounds so intriguing.
I haven't either, but mostly because of the size of. I've heard of people that have put hundreds of hours into these games, and I just don't have.
I think it was like 90 or 100 hours when I beat Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii.
Wow. I mean, the concept sounds so amazing. The story that you're talking about just sounds so cool.
The first one's great, and I think it is on Switch, but yes, he's like, the games take place on the backs of 2 titans that are like frozen.
Mm-hmm.
They were fighting to the end, and then if you see at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the one, So there was like a Bionis and Mechonis. One was like made of Earth stuff, one was made of metal stuff or whatever. But it looks like the Earth Titan has swung his sword into the Metal Titan by the time of this game. And that's pretty cool because they're frozen for the first game. Like the world just happens to have evolved on their back, which is a super cool setting, by the way. And then it would always in the upper right corner of the map, would show you where you're at, and it'd be like upper torso, and you'd be like, dude, I'm on a living thing right now. It's sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I don't know. The Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks so bad that I don't know if I want to be excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But I also loved the first Xenoblade Chronicles, and there were also, as a new Xenogears fan, there are a lot of little Xenogears hints tucked in here in Chronicles 3. Let me tell you.
All right.
So I don't know, because it's all the same stuff. Obviously.
I can't start a game on a 3. I can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I read an interview with the director where he was like, yeah, I think newcomers are going to be great here. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's 200 hours of story before this. You think people are just going to hop right in?
Right.
Strange. But I don't. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 looks just so weird.
I haven't touched either of them. I just, like I said, the number of hours steered me clear of those games. So
I like that they have British accents for all the characters.
You do like that?
Yeah, I think that's fun. And it's just because it doesn't happen in any other JRPG. Like the full cast is British and Scottish and stuff.
Right.
But it's only because the American version we got was a European localized version because they were trying to port it as cheaply as possible, if you remember. Because originally they didn't bring it to America at all.
Right.
And now it's one of their premier franchises. Great decision making, guys.
Well, that's what we thought about the release. I love doing those deep dives on something that big. Did you watch it live, the whole thing?
Yes, yeah, and it was very. If you're a fan of maligned '90s JRPGs, was it a show for you?
Yeah, and the thing that drove me crazy is like just as many people talking about what an awesome direct it was. I saw just as many people complaining about, man, I'm just gonna sell my Switch. I'm done with Nintendo, and I'm like. I don't know.
I haven't been this excited by a direct in a long time. I was fiery hot with excitement, which is not common in my life generally, let alone after a Nintendo Direct.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of ports, and there were a lot of
yeah, but for stuff remasters. I care about, Scott.
No, I know. I'm saying like in response to the people that are complaining about it, and I made a tweet on this. I was like, I had a quote hot take. I'm like, look, if you've never heard or played of a game before. And you now have the ability to play said game, it's a new game to you. Like,
right. Yeah, I've never played Front Mission, which I think we glossed over. But they're remaking Front Missions 1 and 2, games I've always wanted to play, but they're so difficult to get a hold of that I never played them. Mm-hmm. The old tactical mech RPGs. Like, this is very exciting for... You're right. It's a new game to me. I've never played Front Mission.
Like, I don't care that we're not getting Breath of the Wild 2 yet. That's coming this Christmas, right? Like
no, it's not. No way it's coming this Christmas. But
or wait, was that one of my predictions? I don't remember.
Well, even in their trailer, they're like targeting 2022. You're like, right. I'm sure that you are.
I don't know. People are mad that there wasn't that, and there wasn't Metroid Prime 4. I mean, Metroid Prime 4 has been started from scratch again, guys.
Yeah, like I'm doing Metroid Prime 4 is much like how I was approaching Bayonetta 3, where I'm just giving up until I see it again.
Yeah, and I don't
same
care.
Here.
I don't care that we're not seeing that. I know it's coming, and I'm not in a rush. Maybe it's just me getting older.
They need to port 1 to 3 to Switch, or like it's just. I am not alone in having not played those, especially with how long it's been since 3.
Oh man, did you? We've talked about this before, but did you ever play 3 on the Wii?
I haven't played any of it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well.
I'm a 2D Metroid purist, obviously. Thank you.
No, the reason I bring it up is when they finally, because Metroid Prime 3 was the first one that was on Wii, and playing Metroid Prime with a Wii remote and pointing with a Wii remote was a game changer.
Right, because it didn't have camera controls in the first two. It didn't have the C-stick camera, right? It was your menu.
No, you had to lock in place, and then it was annoying. Like I'll bet going back and playing the original Metroid Prime now would be very frustrating. Much like my experience with Resident Evil 4. You know what I mean? Where like, oh, this is how this played. You know, shooters have evolved since then. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those just need to come to Switch and be able to play them with, you know, the Joy-Cons. I probably would play that game with the Joy-Cons instead of a Pro controller if that happened. I know that sounds weird,
would-
pointing
I
a
would-
thing was so nice. I didn't like Metroid Prime 3 as much, but it was a joy to play just for that reason. So
That's how I would want to play it too.
all right, well, let's see what the community thought. We'll start over on Facebook. Our first comment comes from Izzy Casio, and Izzy says, the games that stood out for me were Live Alive,
Got one life to live.
and the Front Mission remakes. Completely disappointed that they are remaking Chrono Cross when nobody asked for it. Nobody asked for it? I don't know.
Well, I feel like Chrono Cross does not have a kind place in history.
It's not Chrono Trigger.
Right.
Right.
Well, and it has a lot of sad endings for Chrono Trigger characters,
Mm-hmm.
which I know. Which, based on the response to The Last Jedi, I don't think people are always happy about.
True.
Definitely not.
Izzy goes on to say, Square Enix fans have literally been screaming for a Chrono Trigger remake, and they give us this trash LOL. I
definitely
haven't
not.
played the game, so I don't know if I can call it trash, but
Yeah, I don't know if it's trash. I don't know if it, deserved GameSpot's 10 out of 10 to give it back in the day. But especially based on the fact that history doesn't seem to like it. But I think the cycle is just right for Chrono Cross to get its revisionist history as a brilliant game.
mm-hmm.
We know how these things go, right? The Wind Waker effect.
Yeah.
As I would like to call it. I'm excited for Chrono Cross. I've never had a chance to play it, and it doesn't really look like it's taking a lot of resources because it's definitely not a remake. It's more of a port thing,
Right.
like they've updated the textures or whatever, obviously, but it's like when they
still looks like a PS1 game.
It's like when they brought Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 to
Mhm.
modern consoles. It's just
Right.
It's just like a touched up port, essentially.
Yeah.
Or
But
remaster, I guess.
It's also, I can play it. I don't have a PlayStation 1. I don't have a copy of Chrono Cross, and old games market is pretty nuts right now still, guys. So
And Izzy, you don't have to. Square Enix didn't have to choose either or. You can get mad at them and just say they should bring you both Chrono games.
there you go.
That's true.
And right with Radical Dreamers in there, they could have really just done a whole Chrono trilogy package, but they chose not to.
Mhm.
That's what you should be mad at.
Wasn't the PS1 version on packaged in with another Final Fantasy game? It was
Yeah.
like Final Fantasy Chronicles, and it had
Was it
Chrono
not? I think it
Cross,
was Tactics and Chrono Trigger, right?
I believe so.
Tactics and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about Chrono Cross.
Oh no, I think it was just its own game because it was a PS1 native game.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Chrono Trigger, and I don't think it was Tactics though. I want to say it was like Final Fantasy V or something
Maybe,
like that.
Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe I'm mistaken.
I could be wrong, but anyway,
No, that would make
Let's-
sense, right? Because they went Final Fantasy because they skipped to 5 and 6 when they did Final Fantasy. Is Final Fantasy 2 Final Fantasy 5 or is Final Fantasy 2 Final Fantasy 4?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I try to remember what the SNES numbering was, but they had to give us the other games somehow after 7 was such a monster hit.
Right.
Either way, Izzy, I am with you. I'm very excited to play Front Mission, and we didn't mention that during the presentation discussion, but I'm really excited to finally play. Front Mission has been this game I've always been very curious about.
Is that the one? I'm just picturing the cover in my head where it's like a soldier that's got like a not glasses, but it's almost like a I can't think of it. What the thing over his eye, like a colored.
Like a scouter, like a Dragon Ball Z scouter.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Dragon Ball Z.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't remember if that's the same. That's just what I'm picturing the box art being in my head, but I can't remember for sure. Anyway, moving on. Alyssa, you want to get the next one?
The next one is from Sean Coates, and he says, of all the things announced, I'm most interested in No Man's Sky. Not because I want to play it, it's only because I'm curious about how well it'll perform on a Switch. I remember back when it launched on PS4, it had some frame rate issues and performance problems. I'm willing to bet this game's gonna chug on Switch, updates and patches be damned. This, by the way, coming from someone who loved the game even at launch.
Interesting take.
He must have been pretty disappointed with our deflated response to the news then, huh?
Probably. Sorry, Sean. Sorry. I know my buddy Tom really loves that game too. He actually purchased 2 copies to give away to our community because he wanted people to love that game as much as he did.
Wow.
So,
People that love No Man's Sky do seem to love No Man's Sky.
yeah, they really do. I wish I liked it more. I really do.
Mark Zamansky over at Discord writes in, that Mario Kart 8 track announcement was exciting. Shut up and take my money. Also, Mario Strikers, another game.
Oh, how do we
skipped
miss
over.
that?
Yeah, we start. Sign me up. They might have talked me into Fire Emblem. Kirby means spending more money. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Portal? I'll buy it. I doubt I'll buy it Nintendo Sports, but it looks great. Looks like it's going to be a fantastic year of gaming with my Switch. Mark, I'm happy you're sharing our enthusiasm here.
Yeah. I don't know how
I love
forgot
your
to
response, Mark.
put Mario Strikers on there. I never played Mario Strikers on GameCube, and everyone just raved about that game.
Yeah, that game's awesome.
Yeah.
This looked too different to me for me to get excited.
I don't know. I didn't play the other, so.
I mean, I could be misremembering, but the original Strikers just was like straight up soccer.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a weird future sports league thing.
It almost looks like a cross between soccer and American football.
And as soon as they mentioned the gear changing your stats, I was out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't want that in a sports game, you know? It's like when they did it. It's like why I never played Injustice Online either. Like I don't want stat affecting gear in like a sports game.
Right.
Just weird to me. The character should be the set, right? Like Bowser should be a bruiser, not, well, now my Bowser is lightning fast. It just, I don't know. It's not an exciting way to play a game for me.
I'm all about good balance anyway, where it's just skill versus skill instead of time
Yes.
played versus time played.
Why Halo was so refreshing. Alyssa, are you a Mario Strikers fan?
I've never played it.
All right. Right on. I guess me and my brothers played a lot of Mario Strikers back in the day.
Next comment on Discord comes from Tzafikal. I can't tell if he like misspelled the or if that's like a thing.
If you could write in with an enunciation guide at some point, that'd be great.
I didn't watch, but what got me excited was Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the Front Mission 1 and 2 remakes, along with a remastering of Chrono Cross. Yeah.
Yep, you're my kind of people, Zaf.
Yeah. Not much to add there, so.
I think it's weird that they're splitting Front Mission 1 and 2. But
you have to buy them separately? They're not bundled together?
I don't know if they are or not, but I don't know if the purchase structure gets you them both, but one of them is coming soon, and then they're like, or it's coming this summer, the Front Mission 2 is coming later.
Right.
So it's just weird. It's a weird way to do it.
It is a weird way. The next comment is from Cody. They say, Portal, No Man's Sky, and Fire Emblem, Kirby, and Xenoblade Chronicles, take my money.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with a Kirby game taking my money. Like
it transcends Kirby. It looks so good.
But I was never even like a huge Kirby fan back in the day. I think the last Kirby game I played was that Yarn one.
Oh,
was there a Yarn?
Yeah, Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
It looked gorgeous, but it was just incredibly easy and not anything that I just ever wanted to go back to. This game looks like a game I just have to play. I don't know. It looks good.
It looks more Mario than Zelda almost, or Mario than Kirby. That's what I meant to say.
It does look like yeah.
I mean,
like
last Kirby I played was the Forgotten Crystals on 64.
I don't think I played that one. Remember the DS one, the Canvas Curse?
Oh yes, I remember hearing it. I never played it.
Where I was pretty clever, man. Like you actually draw like the ramps and stuff for him to do. That was like the entire game was played just with a stylus.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't play it.
It was pretty good.
Those games are so annoying.
Way to deflate my excitement there, man.
Well, it's like the Zelda games. They suck too.
The Zelda games?
Playing an entire game with a stylus sucks.
Yeah, but it's different with the mechanics in Canvas Curse.
Yeah.
Oh, which one was that one that you played with the stylus? Was that the...
From what, Zelda?
Yeah.
It was Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.
They both just played completely with the stylus.
Uh-huh.
I played through both of them. I did not remember that.
I'm sure there's Zelda... unless it's Skyward Sword, you'll force your way through any Zelda game.
Oh my god. That game was so bad.
Speaking of Amber, who you talked about earlier, Amber Olmsted Lily writes in, I'll purchase Portal, Kirby, and Wii Sports Switch Edition.
You just tried to combine Portal and Kirby into one word. Portal.
I like that she's referring to Nintendo Switch Sports as Wii Sports Switch Edition. I didn't finish Xeno 2 and 1000% to Chrono Cross.
Yeah. I just want to see what everybody's talking about. I hear the music is like some of the best music in that.
I've heard it's great. Everything I've heard about Chrono Cross is the kind of sequel I enjoy, where it doesn't treat the first thing as sacred,
right?
Which I very much appreciate.
Ferris over on Discord says Chrono Cross remastered, so awesome. Portal, damn, No Man's Sky, that's crazy. Damn near 50 more tracks for Mario Kart. The first two Mother titles is respectful, but Bring Me Mother 3 would really freak me out. Did I say something wrong?
No.
Oh, okay. The Xenoblade Chronicles 3 news is my biggest takeaway. I knew a third installment was on the way, and I'm truly excited. The first game in the series is the greatest game ever made, and the second game is a strange departure from that almost entirely. I still have high hopes. I will throw every dollar possible at the largest special edition that they will make, and I'll still hold out hope that Xenoblade Chronicles X gets ported.
Oh, right. I forgot there was a spinoff.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, because it was a Wii U game, so I didn't play that one. I'm glad that Furious backs me up here that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is nothing like the first one.
Yeah.
Just,
You're not alone,
it
man.
was jarring. Greatest game ever made. Wow, fascinating. I always love learning about people's favorite games.
I do too.
Really. Tells me a lot.
We used to do that
Furious.
when we had guests on the show regularly. It would always be like, first thing we'd ask them is your top 3 favorite games.
What's what we're doing with the Desert Island? Which your three favorite games?
That's why I'm liking that we're bringing that back. So,
absolutely. Furious, if you've played the second one, feel free to message me on the Discord. I would love to hear why it's so different, why it's bad. I don't meet a lot of people that like the second one.
Right.
I have a friend that just did not really like the second one. Beat 'em ups on YouTube. I don't know if you guys watch them.
Mm-mm.
Great guy. Wood's a great guy. Check out his review, though. He did not like 2.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Beat 'em ups.
The last comment is from Drew Ross, and he says, triangle strategy for me.
Oh, that's the one I forgot.
The thought of a spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics sounds great. Highly anticipating this one.
Yeah, I remember when that was announced at a direct a year or 2 ago. And yeah, it looked very much like Final Fantasy Tactics, but with elevation.
Right.
Which is cool.
I think they introduced in the sequels more so.
Did they? Okay.
Because I did play Tactics Advance, and I remember the tutorial was a snowball fight, which I thought was brilliant. But I was more excited for Triangle Strategy before I played Final Fantasy Tactics, and boy, that's a tough game. They should remake that with a better onboarding.
Yeah. We get a little ramp up a little bit easier.
Yeah, it'll just teach me what's going on better.
Yeah.
Because I know it comes from the era where you were expected to read the manuals.
Right. Now we don't even get manuals.
Right.
I miss having manuals in games.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Triangle Strategy looks cool. I like the decision-making aspect.
Yeah. Well, thank you to everybody that wrote in their thoughts on this week's Direct. I really do appreciate it. And Zack and Alyssa, thanks for chiming in as well. As always, it's great talking to you both. Next week's topic, we will post this on social media later this week, but this one comes from Christina from our team. She wanted us to choose only 5 franchises to play forever. We're going to have to pick our top 5 franchises. You can play any game from the franchise all you want, but you can never play another franchise ever again. I think that sounds like a fun topic, so we will discuss that one
I think I know
next
what
week.
Both of our top answers will be.
Both of our top answers?
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away now, but I'm curious if we have the same answer.
No,
right
it's
now.
a different answer. I just know what both of our tops respectively will be.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
I could guess Alyssa's, but
I can guess Alyssa's as well. Pretty sure.
I can't guess mine.
oh, well,
She doesn't even know. Well, you got some time to prepare. We'll just say there. So, but that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Zack, thanks so much for being here, man. As always, it's a pleasure. But do you have any parting words for the listeners before we tune out for this week?
yeah, as you guys know, I'm a big Shenmue guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, Crunchyroll and Adult Swim are collaborating on an anime adaptation of it. And it's really good. So watch the Shenmue. If you've ever been curious about the games, you should just watch the anime. I'll tell you, as a longtime fan, it's pretty weird hearing, first of all, not hearing Cory Marshall as Ryo, but hearing competent voice acting throughout is very, very jarring.
Feels weird.
It's quite strange. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
cool.
But you know, Londi's there, gives Ryo a scar. It looks cooler in the anime. I was very impressed. They kind of rushed through the setup in a way that the game, I would say, doesn't, or at least it didn't feel like at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's really good. They even have Hot Dog Tom, who's like a side character. It's great. This is this dude with dreads who sells hot dogs in Japan. He was so fun in the game, but I was when he popped up on the screen, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Hot Dog Tom!" This was very exciting.
Nice. Well, next week will be a big week, man. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on. Well, Elden Ring will be out before next week, right?
No, it's the week. It's the week after.
Oh,
So
it's
the
the week
25th.
after.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll have to hear me babble about Horizon next week, but
I'll just take a nap. Yeah.
sorry in advance. Not sorry. Alyssa, what about you? Anything you'd like the listeners to check out this week?
I've been watching an anime, which is such a shocker. I know.
Yeah.
I thought it was older than it was. It only came out in 2019, but that feels like forever ago now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Called Carol and Tuesday. It's only on Netflix, I believe. I think it's a Netflix exclusive. But it's produced by the director of the Cowboy Bebop anime.
Ooh.
And it's so wonderful. It's about these two girls, Carol and Tuesday. They're living on Mars because now Mars is a livable planet in this anime, but people also live on Earth. Yada yada. Well, Carol and Tuesday are two totally different girls, but they're both musically inclined, and they meet up one day in Mars, and they decide to form a group together, and they're making just, music with a guitar and a keyboard, and everyone else in Mars is making music through AI and using auto-tune and all this, and they're doing what they call traditional music. And it's just so wonderful to see these girls try to break through in the music industry. But they also sprinkle in little Easter eggs to Cowboy Bebop, which I love. And there's music in every single episode, and every song is amazing. And they have their own, talent competition on the show called Mars Brightest, and some of those acts, it's hilarious. Look up if you're 18 or older, look up the Mermaid Sisters performance on Carol and Tuesday.
I'll be Googling that right away.
It's 45 seconds of just amazing comedy.
Great. I did not know Watanabe had a new anime out. That's very exciting.
He's just a producer. He didn't direct this one, but you can feel his influence and the like I said, Easter eggs to Cowboy Bebop in it.
Even the music theme alone, right? Because every Cowboy Bebop episode is named after a song and stuff.
This one is too.
Yeah.
And you know how anime halfway through always has kind of a little screen?
Oh yeah, the ad break screen.
They'll show the record with that song on it and the band name.
Okay.
So it's really cool.
Very cool. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds great.
Cool. This just in. I literally just got this news across my desk, as it were. Nintendo is shutting down Wii U and 3DS eShop purchases in late March of 2023. So you have about a year left to make any purchases on Wii U or 3DS eShop. So I thought I'd throw that in there really quick.
So that's how you shut down our store properly, Sony.
A year in advance?
Yeah. Do you remember when they were going to shut down PS3 Vita stores? They're like, yeah, next month, homie.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So I don't have anything new I experienced this week, but so I'm just going to brag for a little bit. I purchase Super Bowl squares every year, and I never win anything, and I won this year, so I'm very excited. I won $250.
Wow!
Ooh,
yeah.
That's just enough to buy me a rare game finally.
I know, right? I know.
That's cool, man. No, what was the bet? Or I don't know what a Super Bowl.
$5 per square. So basically, it's a 10 by 10 grid, and you basically put across the top. Everybody purchases a square for $5. I bought 4 of them, so I paid $20. And then after all the squares are purchased, they basically put numbers randomly. They draw numbers from a hat across the top and across the left, and one of them is one of the teams. The other one is the other team. And then wherever the score lands at the end of each quarter, the last number, you do Battleship, and whoever is on that square that gets that score, wins a quarter of the pot for each quarter. Okay. And I won 2 quarters.
Wow.
So I won half of the $500 because there was the same score, or the same ending score at the end of the second quarter and the end of the fourth quarter. So I got it twice. So I was excited.
Very cool. Wow. I heard the geriatric rapper halftime show was pretty good.
Dude, it was crazy hearing those songs again, and even more fun watching everybody complain, or all the boomers complain on Twitter afterwards.
I saw a lot of people complaining on Facebook.
That's funny because that era of rap is old man music now.
I know, that's the thing. I don't understand.
That's funny.
I don't know. It's.
I do have that. I want to watch the halftime show. I don't care about the.
It was pretty good. Yeah. There was a surprise. I don't know if it's been spoiled for you, but there was a surprise.
I don't think so.
Do you know the surprise?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I won't ruin it for you, but there was something that was not announced that happened that was pretty cool to see. So I will let you experience it. You should probably watch it on YouTube before somebody listens to this and then
Or is
and
it?
then
Okay,
tweets
yeah,
at you.
I'll know.
So-
I'll watch it for sure.
So it was a fun surprise watching it live. So, all right, well, thank you, Zach and Alyssa, and thank you to everybody for listening. The Gaming Outsider is produced by Mr. Nate Lucas, and all the music that you hear in the episode is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com, STEMAGE music.com. Please go check out his stuff. He does some amazing stuff, and he deserves your support. So please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.